Yes, man. Man in the wilderness, I'm up. I'm up. All right. And Herb Nelson here. Rattigan soon sign in. Just give him a couple minutes. Right? But today, we're going to talk a lot of things. We're going to talk a lot of things today, right? All right. So we have Dennis here,
Mm-hmm.
former member of the JCF, right? But then put you L. You hear this herb? Then put her 2L. When she's a serving member. And also her stepdad was a former member. And them a put her mother 2L right now as we speak. So we're gonna give her the floor and introduce her to the floor and make she go and speak, eh?
Hello, Denise.
Hi, good night, Herb. How are you?
All right, just fine, thanks. And hello to all your listeners, Wayne. Good evening to everybody.
Mhm.
Yes. Maria, Yaran,
Yes, I'm good. How is everybody?
I'm here.
Yeah.
We're gonna make, yeah man, all of us good. We're gonna make
Oh,
Denise, a
dear.
former member of the
Hey,
JCF,
Herb.
on the floor.
Yes. Okay.
Um, you're gonna hear something what she got through. But let me tell you this: when she da work as a JCF member, she stand up to soup, soup I try to get rid of her and them do her bad, and them doing her mother bad right now. So may I make sure open up the floor. Denise,
Hi, good night again, everybody.
Good
So
night.
I'll start with my mother's situation that she's going through right now.
yes,
Um, her husband was a district constable for 31 years and 10 months to be exact. Um, on his birthday, he was at work and he took sick on the job. The police officers that were on duty rushed him to the hospital and he died on the way to the hospital. This is 2016 that he passed away. Um, of course, because he did not die a tragic death or he didn't die by a gunshot or an accident while on the job, he did not get like the full benefits of help with funeral and everything. However, we made it through. After the funeral, my mom spoke with the person who is in charge of the District Constable Association for the parish. And that person advised her as to the route that she needs to take in order to get the benefits that her husband would have gotten. Mark you, he was 64 years old when he died and would have retired the following year. Um, since then, she has gone to the Ministry of National Security. She has gone to the um, the Attorney General, all of the different offices that they have her go to. And to date, she has not received a dollar from anybody. She has not been getting any help to go through all of these processes. Um, Last year, when I realized that it was just her because all her children are away and it was just her and she's getting frustrated and she couldn't deal with it anymore, we got a lawyer to deal with the matter for us to help her because at this point they're saying that the her husband didn't leave a will, so now she needed the administrator's document to claim whatever she needed. She went through the court and that was granted to her. She was sent to the offices with these letters again. First, she got the letter from the lawyer and she sent me a couple of the copies that she got from them. So the letter from the let me find that one. So in essence, they're saying that she he's to get the gratuity because district constables don't get pension. Up until the time he died, there was no pension for district constables. At the end of their tenure, they would have gotten what you call a gratuity. This gratuity now would have been passed on to her, being his wife. When she got the letter, they said that she would have gotten $1.5 million for gratuity. This man worked 31 years and 10 months.
Good. So 1.5 million.
And
That's
that is
it.
what they're offering her.
Hmm.
1.5, just over $1.5 million. When I spoke to a lady from the Ministry of National Security, the Human Resource Department, um, they send her to open an account. No, she got this letter from the lawyers last year, I want to say about October, and she took it to them and they told her how much she's supposed to get. No, she needs to open an account, an estate account, because they wouldn't send the money directly to her personal account. She went and she opened the account. She was asked to bring the letter that she got stating how much money she's supposed to get. She brought the letter. She sent me the letter and I emailed the letter to the gentleman at the bank. He responded to me and said that the letter came too late, so the account was closed. So I asked him, what do we do next? What is the next step? What is it she needs to do? He said that she can open an account at her in the parish that she lives. She went to Scotiabank in the parish that she lives, and they would not open the account for her. They sent her back to Kingston. Now she went back to the Human Resource Office, the Jamaica Constabulary Force Human Resource Office. And at this point, she was advised now to go open an account either with Jamaica National or NCB. Because when I spoke to this lady, she said to me, I have no idea why Scotiabank cannot open an account for your mother. I have no idea why the account was closed because the letter came late. Like she said, it made no sense to her. But she could open the account with NCB or Jamaica National. My mother left. I asked this woman, mark you, like 6 times. I said to her, is this all she needs to do? Is that the final step? She said, yes, because the money is ready. We only need the account information. My mom went back to St. Mary, opened the account with Jamaica National, brought the information to this lady. When she got back, this woman was not there. So another gentleman was in charge of whatever she was doing. No, he is sending her again to go to the tax office to get documents of his tax-paying, some tax-paying information for her husband. And at this point, I am so upset because I feel like they are now taking advantage of this vulnerable woman who seemingly have had enough, who is willing to just drop arms and not deal with this anymore because she said, I have gone to Kingston over 26 times, traveling back and forth to St. Mary. And to date, there is still no redress. There is still no guarantees that she's even going to get this money that they're promising to give her. And when I asked her to send me all of the information from the lawyer, because she didn't charge her on spot, we paid for a consultation and for her to start the documentation, but we're supposed to pay her. No, at the end of everything, she's supposed to get her money from this money that my mother is expecting. And that is a total of $268,000 that the lawyers charged her to do this process. So when I look at $1.5 million, the visits that she has made into Kingston, and then this payment for the lawyers, she is not getting anything. At the end of the day, she's not getting anything. And nobody, not the local police office, not the district constable association, there is nobody to sit with her and say, okay, we will help you or we can do this. Nobody. She is left on her own.
No, all right. So tell me something now. So your mom get fed up. She fed up now over this.
She is so tired. She's frustrated and she is so sick and tired. Every time she walks into one of these offices, she sits and cries in front of these people.
Wow. And your mom walking up and down, driving up and down.
Up and
From
down.
Kingston to there, get lie and everything. And then the money going to boil down to 1.1
She
something
went every
million.
time she goes to Kingston, she has to go
31
downtown,
years.
and then she have to leave from downtown and then go back up to Oxford Road because they have her between both offices. And this has been going on for 7 years.
Wow.
7 years.
7 years. This man passed away in April 2016. And to date, she's at the very same place she was when he passed away, not knowing what benefit she's supposed to get. And even in the letter, they're even stating that he was overpaid. He was overpaid how much $1,000? And I'm like, why did
How
it
much
take
thousand them say overpaid?
I think it was what? I think it was what? $3,000 something dollars.
Then that are overpaid?
And I'm like, but why did it take him dying?
No, come on now.
Paying this man.
You hear this?
You were overpaying him, and it took him dying for you to realize that you were overpaying him.
Well, I'm trying to get this straight, because was he overpaid in salary, or was he overpaid in the settlement gratuity that he was supposed to get? Which one was it?
It would have been the salary, because the settlement has not been paid out yet. Yeah. That has not been paid out, so it would have been overpaid through salary over the years.
Okay, so here's the problem now. What services have the lawyer provided? Because as far as I'm concerned, if she's going to give him, and just for diaspora members, the settlement money for the gratuity is $10,345, and the money to the lawyer is $3,900. Almost $4,000 him going to take, leaving her with a grand total of $6,445 US. Right? So that just make people know what's going on. And this is for 31 years and 10 months of this man's life that he poured into this organization.
Yes.
What service has the attorney provided? Because if he's going to collect all this money, he must be providing some superb services.
Okay, so I have the letter from the attorney that states that please be advised that we have obtained the grant of administration, which we have in our possession. And then it says, we are grateful for the opportunity to assist you. We now set out below the statement of account in this matter. Attorney's fee, retaking instructions to obtain letter of administration plus GCT, $50,000 plus $7,500 for GCT. Then it has another attorney fee to prepare and file and obtain letter of administration plus GCT, that's $175,000. And then there's a miscellaneous plus GCT for another $26,250. Then there is the GCT for $8,000, and then another $1,200. I'm not sure what that's for. Then the disbursements, paid advertisement fee, reapplication in Jamaica Observer, $4,443.60. Paid stamp oath of administration, $5,000. Bank charges, $330. Paid stamp and administration, $5,000. Bank charges again, $330. Less received from Mrs. and her name is there is $15,000, and that would have been the $15,000 that we paid for just to go in and speak with them and give them the information.
Mm.
So that the balance due and owing is $268 and two hundred and sixty eight thousand
8,000, right?
$53.60.
All right. So
That's
So
what is owing
so
there.
that's 268,000 plus 15,000 then.
Plus 15,000 because she would have paid the 15,000
mm,
when we were
That's 283,000 in
yes.
essence.
yes
Okay.
283
That come up to 1,000 something, 1,000 something, little less than 2,000.
Right.
150. They run top of 150. It's like 300,000 a be 2,000. 2,000. So that's little less. But for the what? For getting a letter.
Forget
And
that.
what beat me to a herb? What me want beat and Maria, what beat me on this, right? A man working for 31 years.
Mhm.
Die, get sick on the job there and end up dead. When you work out, when you calculate out the 1 million and 1 point, that's little bit a million. Plus our money up and down everything. So you might have work out to 900,000 shall get. When you draw back all these money. When you work out this like $6,000. When you work out this, how much per year in work you might get per year. This a waste. About this sinful man.
So the letter from the Jamaica Constabulary Force Human Resource Branch reads, "We write in relations to your husband, the late," and they put his name and everything there. Or record disclose the following: rate of salary per annum $687,025.92. That's the rate of his salary per year. Monthly deductions are as follows: Sagicor, $1,055.92. Chris and Clark's, I'm not sure what that one is, $3,500. District Constable Association, $700. Jamaica Public Federation Fund, $500. And they said overpayment of salary and allowances for the period April 19, 2016 to April 30th, 2016 is $34,424.46. There are no arrears or unpaid salary or allowances owed. There's none owed to him.
So them working their stepfather, them that work like a slave. It was a slave job, this man.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Well,
because 31 years. We look on 31 years, and if you divide that up, if now, you get, because them don't get a pension. No good that. It's a surgical work. So when they pay that insurance for? Why that insurance don't pay no money up?
I don't know. There are
That's a different money. You cannot show us something and you not get no money for that.
They sent her to the housing trust and they sent her to Sagicor to check if there's money there for her. And she went there, and apparently there's nothing there for him to get.
What?
She's
so you cannot show us money with Sagicor, them daughter you pay herb are married for 31 years. And you show that money and then there is nothing for you to get. So why are you throwing that insurance?
Nothing makes sense from their angle. Denise, may I ask you, did your father get national insurance benefits, death benefits?
So from the Ministry of Security, they gave my mom a check to help with the funeral.
Oh, okay.
And from the District Constable Association, based on the fees that he was throwing there, because they were deducting a $500 fee every month as well, they gave her a check as well to help with funeral arrangements. There was nothing there was nothing from the what was it? I think the NIS, she got a package from the NIS to help with funeral as well. But when we asked about because I have been in the force and I have seen other police officers pass and they get full benefit, full help from the government as it
Right.
relates to funeral and everything. But the fact that he did not die through what they term as tragically on the job, he was not qualified for that kind of help.
Yeah, but he was at work when him fell ill,
He
right?
was at work. He died the morning of his birthday. He was at work.
But
I mean, him knowledge.
what I'm hearing her saying is that because he did not die in action,
Right.
then he's not entitled to any additional benefits. Is that it? Or the same
No,
benefits as back
no,
then
he
was
was
a
not. He
Red
was
Sea officer.
no, no. He did not get that kind of benefit at all. He was not qualified for that kind of benefit.
Okay. Now I gave you a bad math before because it's this the final figure that he gets is only $1,952,
Mm-hmm.
right? And before it was 1848. So I don't know. My calculation was off.
Okay.
But that's not a whole lot of money for 31 years. Call it 32 years because 31 years and 10 months.
But you know what? You know what? It puzzles me to her because I have been in the system for a while. I worked for 13 years with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And I have seen district constables retire
Mm-hmm.
and get their gratuity. And I'm talking about maybe 2004, 2005. And I've gotten in excess of $3 million for their gratuity. So
So
I was surprised when my mother got the letter that from the accountant general that all that he would be getting is 1.5 million and change. I was really taken aback because if he had lived and retired, that would not be what he would have gotten. That's not what he would have gotten. So I am not sure what's the difference? What makes the difference in the amount, or what the circumstances that under which he passed, or now he's passed and his wife is supposed to get these benefits, what makes the money less than what he would have gotten had he lived?
okay, let me ask you this. When you were on the force, you were a member of the Police Federation, correct?
Yes.
Was he also a member of the Police Federation?
Yes, because he had that was paid every month. We paid that fee as
And
well.
what services do you get as a result of being a member of the Police Federation, especially if you die?
I am not sure what the full benefit is or what the full assistance is. I left the force a couple of years ago now.
No, what I was trying to get at is
Mhm.
that this is not the first time a DC has died, I'm sure, while serving on duty,
Mhm.
right? And if you have other cases that you have that you could map out his service and his salary. Now, if they're saying he was overpaid while he was serving,
Mhm.
it sounds to me like they took out money and they're claiming that he was overpaid, right?
Mhm.
But somebody has to do an audit on this account, right? And because question is how long was he overpaid and how much was he overpaid?
All right. So the letter from the accountant general, um, approved is hereby given for payment to estate, and they named his name, and the payment would have been going to his wife for from the Department of Gratuity in the sum of 1,590,90 no, hold on, 1,590,000 $590,830.70. In accordance with the Preventions of the Government Employees Compassionate Gratuity Resolution. Payment to the legal person representative should be made on production of the original probated will, which is why she needed the grant of the administration letter before she could get that money.
But you don't think that should have automatically come across to her? You're married and your wife and things, you have to go to and get a letter from the Attorney General or
Yes.
who? That
Yes.
don't even make no sense to me.
So it then said that he was indebted to the government in the sum of $37,290 in respect to overpayment of salary.
Overpayment. And that's for which month or which month?
It's not state that they didn't state the period on this.
Or them just put it together. Oh, okay.
But you see, I think that needs to be challenged, because if you can't specifically show the period of overpayment and explain to the wife how did that occur, then they should challenge it. Right? That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Nothing.
Sorry, 1 minute. The great man does step in, you know. Great man does step in, you know. Rattigan.
Good evening.
Salute. Yeah, man.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, man. You're good, man.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Daisy, Herb, man in the wilderness, and all the listening audience and viewing audience. Sorry to be late.
I'm Ratty.
Apologies.
Hear this now. We have a case where a former member of the JCF, her dad, her stepdad, worked for 31 years. And in past off, you know, and for like 7 years now, her mother, you know, when them come up with 1.5 million for give for 31 years. Jamaican, you know. And then the lawyer for draw that the money and everything. Them they get 1 cent out now in a Ratty.
Whoa.
Not even 1 cent. Me I start for 1.5, that are like 13,000. Less than 13,000. Less than 13. No, less than 10,000.
Yeah.
10,000 will be one. Yeah, 10,000. 1.5. 10,000 little bit. Him forget for 31 years, Ratty. When you broke up that, my God, man. It don't make no sense. You risk yourself for them police thing. And them want more. Them say them want the Jamaica Constable Force to go from 11,000 now to 18, you know. So if you can't pay them no good, when them do it 18,000 strong, oh, you pay them.
But you know something, Wayne? All the rigmarole that they're putting this woman through is unnecessary, because after 31 years service, he did not die in the line of duty, but he died while working for them.
So
he died at work. So all of this rigmarole, they don't need the need for her a will does not make any sense, because that's the wife, that's her husband. So they have put up red tapes that are unnecessary for compensating this woman's husband, you know, posthumously for after working 31 years. That makes no sense to me at all. They're just putting pressure on her unnecessarily and just traumatizing her all over again every time that she has to show up to talk to them about it. 6 years? That's a long time to be going through this nonsense. No wonder she's not giving up.
7 years.
They're wearing her down. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they are. They are. And then she's going to give up, and, you know, the money goes to not. Maybe somebody collected it already. Nobody knows.
Well, I'm curious about the $37,290 that they said he was overpaid, because they should be made to prove that he was overpaid, and what caused the overpayment, and what is the policy on overpayment. You know, sometimes in the best interest of the government, they can forego collection, especially when it impacts the family. The man is no longer there as a provider, and so they should be able to forego that. I can get all kinds of numbers here, Wayne, When I add the 37,000 back to 1.5 million, I get 1,628,120. And when you divide that by 145 to 1 and the dollar, I get 11,220.
And 150 to 1 now, 154.
Okay.
Yes.
154 to 1.
Yes.
I don't know which one they go by, which is the
So we run it at 150. So we run it there, so. That's how when you down there buy money, man. When them said it, they were to you, man. Them said it 150 yard, 160. But Ratty, just round up that. Ratty, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If you go to work, if a law enforcement officer go to work and him die while on duty, or they mean him not die in the line of duty. Someone have to fire you have you outside. If you die on duty, you there work.
Yeah.
You there on guard work. You there work still.
You know, one of the things we have to do.
Eh?
One of the things we have to do is that we have to kind of look at the rules and the regulations, because common sense would say that if you show up for duty and you die while working, you know, the 8 or 10 or 12 hours that you're assigned to work,
yes,
then the government should step in and do whatever is required to do, right?
Yes.
To take care of your family and things like that. But what I'm realizing as with each passing day is that Jamaica have some really
Stupid
outdated
laws.
rules. Yeah.
Arcane
Really
rule.
outdated.
Yeah, because I mean, I was just looking through some of the punishment for certain crimes, and they haven't updated them. So for some serious crimes, they say, oh, they can punish you for, you know, you pay $200. That was way back when $200 meant something.
Yes.
But $200 now. So what I would suggest is that we take a look at the rules, and we have people over at JCF who can provide a rule book or provide the provisions that would govern this, so we can see exactly because if the rule book says that this is what he's entitled to, then we have to go argue on a humanitarian basis, but we can't argue the rules. You know, we'd have to go argue and say, look, this man, him give, you know, X amount of years of service, him have a wife, him have 5 kids, blah 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 blah. You know, see if, and I'm sure they probably have some humanitarian provisions in there somewhere, or you can appeal to somebody. But I think we need to look at the rules first.
So tell me something, no, Ratty. Let me just ask him. I'm going to ask the JCF this now. So the officers, them who work around the desk, I work in the guard room, I work anyway in the station, I look about the jail. If them die in there, just end up heart attack or something, them not die in line of duty.
Yeah.
So them want to know what kind of rule them gonna come with. And said no, because remember, you know, you work on your desk. So what you do? You have to outside for man and fire shot a yard under a man for dying in the line of duty. Me not understand them. Because you're there at work. You're at work and take sick and die.
Well,
Some you want to know something on a broader scale. If you are the yard duty, then in line of duty that. If you want,
but also Wayne, another huge problem too, and it should be concerning, how he was a district constable. Why are they not getting a pension? That makes no sense.
So I think there, I don't know if it has been passed, but I know while I was there, they were advocating for pensions for district constable.
I think
they should. They're a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Exactly. And under the notion that gone are the days when district constables did district constable work, when you patrol your community and all of these things. That is long past. Now a district constable is doing the same job as a regular constable. They're doing station guard duties. They're taking statements. They have court cases. They're representing themselves in court. Everything that the regular constable does, and the district constable is doing it. And there are so many things that they're not being offered simply because they're a district constable.
You want to give me a rundown with yourself? Give me a rundown with yourself.
So I worked as a district constable. I worked for 13 years, and I work in the courts mainly. I used to be in the courts every single Wednesday. I am in the court. I have cases. I have done rape cases, I have done assault cases, I have done larceny cases, you name it. Anything that the constable does, I used to do it. The constable leave training school and come to the station. And I have to teach a lot of them the job. Because they leave training school not knowing anything. They don't even know how to take a statement.
Tell
So
me something. You go through something with the police force too, with that young man and his lady and the suit. Can
yes,
you
the
help run on that
superintendent.
case?
I was on duty one night, station guard duty one night. And this young man drove into the station and made a report that his girlfriend slapped him in his face and he had a number of scratches on his face, in his chest. It was alleged that the young lady was having an affair with the then superintendent of the parish. While he was giving me the report, I called the young lady and I told her that a report has been made against her. So I'm asking if she could stop by the station. She came to the station with the superintendent. As a matter of fact, the superintendent drove her to the police station. When she walked in, I told her what the gentleman reported and I asked her if she was aware of it. She said, yes, I did it. So I said to her, based on the report that I received, I will have to arrest and charge you for assault occasioning bodily harm and put you before the court. And the superintendent pushed her back and stepped in front of me and said, who do you think you are? So I introduced myself to him and he said to me, you're in no position to arrest her. So I said to him, I got a report and I am carrying out my duty. I am not doing anything that I am not supposed to do. I'm not doing anything outside of the law. And by this, my fellow officers came in, and of course, they were trying to shut me up. And you can't talk to the soup like that. I said, listen, this is the superintendent. Yes, but I am doing my job. I got a report, and the lady is here, and the gentleman is right here. And he insists that he wants her arrested. So I am carrying out my duty. And he took her and drove away with her to the point where I was left now to serve her a salmon. And I did that. The following day, the superintendent called my detective at the station and asked him who I was. And he told her. And his remark to her was, oh, she thinks she's a smart ass.
But no, this superintendent, was he in your chain of command? Is he over your district?
Yes. And he turned up. He wasn't wearing uniform. He wasn't on supervision duty. He just drove her to the station in plain clothes. If I didn't know him before, I would not have known that he was a superintendent because he did not introduce himself or anything.
What year was that, by the way?
We're talking about probably 2007. Was it about 2006, 2007?
Mm-hmm. So when you do that, him making a threat to you when more move you or something, anything, the soup?
I got several threats of transfers. At one stage I was transferred to the capital of the parish, having me travel how many miles outside of my community to go to work.
So
I have had instances where inspectors torture me with night duties.
Why?
Because they could not have their way with me.
Inspector, you hear the dirty corp force.
I would be sent on night duties for the whole week. I would be working from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning.
All right. Regarding the gentleman, sorry to interrupt you. What's that? Denise? Is it Denise?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me just interrupt that story a little bit, just to go back to the police officer you said who died. Was it a heart attack or something?
No, he just took sick at work, and
All right.
they took him to. Well, they were on their way to the hospital with him when he died.
All right. Here's what you do. Tell the family them can get a lawyer, or if them want them can get me. Although I don't practice in Jamaica, but I'm all for the poor people and the people who have no representation. That under the Constabulary Force Act of, let me see, hold on. Constabulary Force Act 20. One second. Okay, under the Constabulary Force Act of Section 61, right? 61, 62, 61 and 6. Let me see what that is. 61, 62, and maybe 63. That has that those sections that deal with when a police officer dies while on duty, and the person who has the power to grant the family due benefits is the person I consider the most powerful person in Jamaica, the Governor General. It says it right here. It says right here. While in the force, it shall be lawful for the Governor General to grant in relation to that constable pensions and gratuities as prescribed by Regulation 16 of the regulations contained in the first blah, 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 blah. And that's where somebody dies. It says where a constable dies on or after the 1st of July 1974 as a result of injuries received in the actual discharge of his duty on account of circumstances specifically attributable to the nature of his duty. And C, in circumstances in which the injury is not wholly or mainly due to or seriously aggravated by his own serious and culpable negligence or misconduct. I think it would fall under C. But 61 and 62, just let them look at, look at 60, 61 and 62.
Okay.
But Ratty, hear this. The mother went to an attorney in Jamaica. Why couldn't he have looked that up and advise her accordingly? He tried,
She want money. He or she want money. They want to make more money. Jamaica that.
Yeah.
But you see, he's also a member of the Federation. I'm wondering if our good friend at the Federation could have reviewed this and brought it up.
Yeah. Also, section, again, another section, the appointment section, section 4.29 speaks to when somebody dies, what they're entitled to as far as vacation leave and credit and all of those things are concerned.
Is it different for a district constable versus a regular?
This makes no distinction as long as you're a member of the JCF.
Okay.
So
Exactly.
tell the lawyer, tell her to tell the lawyer to look in the JCF disciplinary policy and procedures workshop.
Okay.
Right. Everything is right. It's laid out.
Okay.
Right. And if they want to call me or call the man in the wilderness, we're ready. We're here at their service. That's what we do.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, but back
That's
to
why.
you.
That's why I was saying earlier. I couldn't understand why they're making the distinction between district constable or regular. Because they're doing the work of a police. So if you're doing the work of a police and you die at work, given 31, it doesn't matter how many years of service, but he has given 31 years of service, died at work, and then all this rigmarole 7 years in, and you still cannot get any resolution. That really makes no sense because he was still a police officer.
That's true. Let me ask you a question. When he was buried, did they give him a 21 gun salute or a 39?
No, he didn't get anything like that.
No gun salute?
No gun salute at all.
My goodness.
No.
They give nothing. So him die on duty, and then they might talk something else like him die at home. Him on duty. If you do station duty or something and you die, that means you're not gonna get nothing. Because that means you have to be in front of some gunman who have fired you or you have fired them, and then if you die that way now, you die on duty. I don't understand them.
But the appalling thing is not getting a pension. I don't understand how you can have somebody in the working within the structure, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and anything up there's no pension. That makes no sense. And he's paying into all these things. He's paying into Sagicor. He's paying into a different fund. He's paying into what is he paying for? What was he paying for?
Well, I tell you what, based on this, he's entitled to all of that.
You mean entitled to all of that?
Yeah.
So then
based on this,
the
he's
lawyer,
entitled to
Denise,
all of
your
that.
lawyer, your lawyer needs to do some work, which you should not be paying them any more money for because they didn't do the work in the first place. Because if that person did their due diligence, they would know exactly what Ratty is talking about. You wouldn't have to be told that this Sunday, how many years later in 2023. They should have known that. So they need to go and do their research and come back to you with the answers that you need and stop really giving you the runaround, because they seem to be no different than the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
I totally agree. And I have asked these questions. I said, are we only paying for you to get this paper from the court? Is that all we're paying all of this money for? Because you gave her the letter, you send her on her jolly way. All right, I am done with my part. You go get your money.
And that nearly cost 300,000.
She's been run around in circles. She's been sent here and there and everywhere. And she cannot come back to you for help because you have done your part. Your part was just to get the paper for her, which is costing over $250,000. Like,
You know,
is that it? Like nothing
Well,
else?
send her an email. Send her an email and tell her what she needs to do, where she needs to go, what department, what statutory documents she needs to look at. You point them out to her and let her know that you got paid to do this. And I'm doing this for you now because an attorney advised me based on the fact that it is already there. So you not knowing this, she's not my fault. It's not my mom's fault. It's your fault. You should have known this.
Exactly.
So you point the things out to her and then let you know that I paid you for this already.
yeah. And
Because
if you're
that's her job.
If you're having a problem with them, then it's come back to the man in the wilderness. Him know for find me because we
I
have
definitely
we have the
will.
regulations. We have the regulations sitting down on me right here.
I definitely
So,
will.
and he's entitled to a pension. He
As-
is
as-
entitled to a
As
pension
I
based on their rules.
my mom she has had it. She has had
Yeah,
it.
and that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for her to drop it, you know?
Which is what I feel too. And I keep saying, who is waiting for her to just give up and not want it anymore so they can capitalize on this?
Exactly.
You know what happened then is, when you think about it, right? Your mom going through all of this for 7 years for nothing, like it gone to $6,000 now. Because when you don't pay out and she take all these money, traveling expenses and everything out of that,
That's it. She
maybe
gets
six
nothing.
or less than 6,000 US
Nothing.
for all this for 7 years. This is completely sin.
All
And your case now, and your yes,
when she filed for she should file a claim herself for all the traveling she did, right? Mileage,
Exactly.
as well as wear and tear, whatever she can find. And if she find out that there's chicanery that went on with this claim, right? Then to me, I would get a stronger lawyer that can file a lawsuit for pain and suffering, the additional pain and suffering it has caused her. You know, I don't know if they settle on that in Jamaica, but naturally, she need to push for every red cent that they owe her. You know, 7 years of pain of going through this stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Yeah.
You know what, Denise?
Yes.
I'll give you another piece of advice. It's free because that's what we do around here.
Okay.
You have to tell a lawyer, right, that there are in addition to going to the Governor General, there are two actions that he can file in court, one or the other. He can file something called an administrative notice, which is asking the court to make a declaratory judgment that the decedent was entitled to his pension and all the other benefits. And with that, you can take that to the Governor General. Or you can file another action based on that. The second one is called a writ of mandamus, mandamus. And what that is, that's telling the court to force the government to do what they're legally required to do. So one of them is the court acknowledging that yes, he's entitled to it. The second one is the court saying he is, and you must now pay the family.
Okay.
Yes, man. All right. Come back to your cases now, because you'd have some two cases that one want to finish up, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So through the soup talking to the man, lady,
Mm-hmm.
and you supposed to lock her up for injuries. Him take her away, and then them start draw card on you.
Yes, that was
This
it.
is somebody else if we call him name, but we know, of course, if we call him name, we call him name, because we no business. We like, we just talk out. We don't even care. Some people write that somebody's else if we call him name. Call him name. Yeah, we call him name. Yeah, I mean, we call it. You text me, tell me we call it.
There you go.
Yeah, just text me, tell me we call it. You text me, and we call
But
it.
you know something, Wayne?
Yes.
Denise is facing an age-old problem in Jamaica, especially when it comes to sexual harassment at the workplace,
Mm,
and also the level of corruption that exists across the board in Jamaica. Because she's doing her, and that is why here you have a young person on the force doing her job, and her superior is telling her not to do her job. You wonder why corruption is so rampant in the country? And they're going to now intimidate her for doing her job. They're going to now
right.
harass her because they cannot get to sexually assault her.
Yes.
It's an age-old problem in Jamaica. Any woman you talk to who was born and raised in Jamaica at any age group, whether from 18 and come on down, they can tell you about the same experience of sexual harassment on the job in Jamaica.
Oh yeah.
So what, Denise, exactly, do you still have a copy? Did you keep copies of the documentation that you filled out on that young lady by chance?
No, I don't have anything having to do with the Jamaica Constabulary Force anymore. I left them in 2000 and I left officially in 2015. I
Okay.
officially
And what year did all of this occur with the superintendent?
with the super. I think it would have been somewhere 2006, 2007,
Okay.
somewhere in
All
that
right.
region.
So is there any statute limitation that would run out on his behavior at that time? Because obviously this was obstruction of justice.
Mhm.
Right? Is there any statute on obstruction of justice?
In Jamaica, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I can check.
All right.
I'll check while.
All right. Because when he interfered with the process, that's what he was doing.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And was this a married man?
This was a married man with his family.
Okay. So he was committing adultery at the same time, right? And he when he interfere with your duties, and then whoever he put on to continue the assault on you, whether it was asking for sexual favors or having you work at night, all of that should be documented. To me, again, sounds like you have a case to make for the the assault on you mentally as well as attempted physically. So we have to find out if the statute of limitation hold up after the last 15 years.
But you know what a lot of Jamaican police officers suffer as well is as a woman. I don't know how it is now, but as a woman, you feel like the minority in the force,
Yeah.
and everybody come with the bully attitude. And as long as you wear a brown uniform, you're seen as God. You walk in and everybody cringe and pull up in their shells, and everybody's afraid to speak because you are literally you're worshipped.
Mm,
You can't,
Mhm.
you can't speak unless they say you're to speak.
And that, so that's stupidness too.
And
But that's not a
that is
workplace.
that you
No,
would,
because them not hiring no kids there.
that is the
Me put
position
in
that
on a
a lot of,
police force and no guy in a brown suit.
yeah,
Me
that's the
quitting.
position that a lot of female police face in the force. The
Mm,
inspectors and the superintendents and all of these people have such power over them that things happen and you feel like you can't even step forward to defend yourself because everybody's, it's like a gang.
mm.
You're going to be sent
And there's
here.
no way to report that to report it, Denise. There was no way to report it, Denise.
There is such a fear of reporting anything in Jamaica because everybody know everybody and everybody is friends with
Yes,
everybody.
that's true. That is
And
true.
you get a fear for
That
your
is true.
life if you make a report and somebody say, "Oh, she called and made a report."
You hear how that run though?
Painful, and it is
Same.
frightening to think that you have people working in situations like that. But it is so true. People are
It
working
is.
in
Yeah.
situations like that.
What we love then is you stand up to him. You
I,
charge the young
I'm
miss. You
maybe
charge her.
I couldn't stick around either because I am the person who, as long as I know I am right, I'm going to speak. I'm not going to be afraid to let my voice be heard. And I was not liked for that. A lot of people did not appreciate me because I speak and I speak truth. So
Mm,
I was not one of their favorite persons at all.
Them a look yes,
And,
Maddie.
yeah, and that is why that so many of them get away with criminal behavior because everybody in that circle is doing the same thing. So if you come along now with discipline, doing your job, and you're determined to do it the right way, do things by the book, then you seem to be the problem
Oh yeah.
rather than the other way around, that everybody should be doing their job and the corrupt person should be the outcast, not you, not the persons willing to do their job. The Jamaica Constabulary Force have a serious problem that they need to address right now.
It is just one big corruption. The
Mm,
Jamaica Constabulary
Sad.
Force, one big
It's sad.
corruption.
but it bad though. It need to clean for. If you not clean that, you can't clean Jamaica.
Yeah, exactly. If you cannot trust the
Yeah,
people who are
yeah,
supposed to keep you safe,
Protect.
yes.
Mhm.
Mm.
the
Do
people who are
you hear
supposed to protect
do
you.
you hear from any of the other women on the force?
I have had conversations with many female officers who face pretty much the same thing that I faced. A lot of them have literally packed and run because they could not deal with it. A lot of them have no choice but to sit and deal with the disadvantage because they have no other way out.
Mm.
But one of the
And that's a
things that
sad thing.
yeah, I was in the military, and when I counseled the young females in the military, I told them, come up with a methodology to record what happened. So you have a daily diary that you write down everything that happens, good or bad, because not everything is going to be bad. But good or bad, you record it in the diary, you fill it in, and if something exceptional that's bad happens, then you need to document that, especially when you get away from at lunchtime or whenever or after lunch in the afternoon. You need to document these things, right? Your police officers, you should know to take your own statement, right? And you write it in that format that will work in court. Now, to make it legal at the time that it happens, I used to advise people that you go to the post office, you make copies of your statement, you write the certified number on the document, and you mail it to yourself, certified mail, and you don't open it. You leave it sealed, because then that on a court date, a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, that becomes a legal document that was recorded at the time it happened, and they can see when they open the letter in court or wherever they open it, that it's certified on the inside, same certification as the outside. And this is how you record, you establish a timeline, a time frame when things occur. So, but you have to learn these things. The other thing is if anybody can make recordings of these arrogant officers who approach them, asking for sexual favors, that would be fantastic, right? Because they're not going to say, well, you illegally recorded the person. No, you ask the person to stop, cease and desist, and they continued. You record it, right? And then you would have your documentation written as well as tape recording as to what occurred.
So I could call out the superintendent name. Superintendent Edwards. Mary Division. Yeah, man. You will talk to, yeah? Yeah, man. See if him still about something. But him, yeah, man, him with the young miss and everything, and Superintendent Edwards. You know him name?
I think
and he's not related to me, Wayne.
Eh?
Wayne.
Yes.
Wayne, he's not related to me. There are no relations there.
No.
He's no family member of mine.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know when we hear the name, we are telling him the Bogo said the words, man. This is what them
exactly.
Like.
Sad.
This is what them like, though. You understand? It's so sad. All right, Denise.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you again, because when Rattigan get down in some business, or some lawsuit, I got fly on them thing. So, we're going to get back to you. I want to keep your mom thing to you.
Yes, ma'am. And if I'm going to talk to her, I'm going to see if I can reach out to this lawyer. And I'll definitely reach out to you guys to see.
Yes, ma'am.
And you give the lawyer the directives. You hear, Denise? You give the lawyer the directives. Tell her what she needs to do.
I will. I definitely will.
Because clearly she doesn't know anything.
Yes, just a money grab at them, man. Yes, man. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you. You too, guys.
You have a good night. Great talking to you.
Good night, Denise.
Night.
Yes, Ratty. Yeah, man. We're coming up with the we are come up with the lawsuit there, and turn up the mic, Ratty.
I call him.
No, me hear you now. Yes.
No, yeah, no. Let's talk to apparently just before we go any further. Apparently, what happened is that, and one of our most ardent listeners, biggest fan, I won't call the name, sent me something here saying that the government owes 1.7 billion, not million, billion in pension payments to approximately 387 retired officers.
Wow,
and,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's because there was a miscalculation done by the Ministry of Finance, and the Federation has sent off at least one letter asking for an explanation and for the payment. And so far, the ministry just ignored them. The matter is before the court right now. So
the ministry ignored them.
Yeah. So the matter right now is before the court. So our link is them can't provide them won't make any statement concerning that. But we have a report here saying that 387 retired officers owed $1.7 billion in pension payments.
So you mean
that is a shame?
Are you telling me Special Agent Supervisor retired Rattigan that the golden boy down at the Ministry of Finance made another mistake?
Oh yes.
Algorithms, not in the algorithms. The algorithms making mistake.
Because remember now.
Yes.
Remember now. I think there's a consensus that is bright, but there's also a consensus that is not perfect. So we'll work with the imperfection right now. That's what we're working with.
But
he's right, Ratty. He's a brilliant young man, brilliant man. But he takes too many people for granted. That's the problem.
And he's arrogant. He's arrogant.
That's the word. He's arrogant. That is the word. His arrogance is getting the better of him.
No,
Because, you know,
I
if we speak the Queen language, you know, I don't call people brilliant and them thing there, you know. Because we are talk to people who are cut to dissect two things. You know, we are chat to Pat Waka, we come from ghetto. So we have to jump the behind him, you know. I mean, I will jump behind him, behind it, you know. You understand, yeah, man? So we
That's
are
the
talk to Pat
firehouse.
Waka.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
And listen him
indeed.
good. Yes, it's about the place behind him there.
No, but
Yeah,
Ratty,
man.
seriously, sidebar, Ratty. Ratty, sidebar. Where
Yeah.
in Waterhouse is that?
This is 41
Where in
Penwood Chris. 41 Penwood Chris.
Because my aunt lived on Bishop Avenue, you know.
Me know my place that man.
Right next to St. Patrick's Primary, because I taught at St. Patrick's Primary.
Yeah, me know Bishop Avenue, man. If you
Right,
go further
my aunt
down the
was
street,
living-
if you go further down the street on Bay Farm Road, it turn in at T, right? And,
Yes.
and if you
Yes.
if you make your first left and a first right down a lane, that take you down to Balmo.
Right,
Balmo
right.
G Primary School.
Balma G. My sister went to Balma G Primary.
I might place that too, man. I might place
Yeah.
that. This place here, this place here is right across the
It
street.
used to be a suburban neighborhood, you know. Remember that?
Used to be a suburban neighborhood. Not when
Yes,
we lived
before the 1980 election.
there. Okay. Well, when we
It
used to
be
live,
there, man.
when we used to live, this street here, Penwood Crescent, is actually a crescent, it go round. And I live at 3 addresses on the street, 3 yards on the street we live in. I live at 41,
Right.
39, and 6. 6 there on the other side. That was where the man from over Towile, the Prime Minister constituency now, used to come across the gully and fire shot off of the man from my side.
Yes.
See,
It was a beautiful neighborhood.
My place that, man. See that?
Yeah, man. Good place.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So you ask something, them no reply. So you move towards them now, and a lawsuit, a line up and thing now. You know, what talk to what people them knowing about it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yes.
You see, what happened is that, you know, this is not just a talk shop, and we cannot afford our programs to be just talk shops.
Yes.
We have to do something. We have to take action so people can understand that we're really, really serious, because otherwise, the government, this government, any government, they won't take you seriously if it's just talk. Because, you know, the 9-day wonder. So anyway, on behalf of the Jamaican people, I'm filing a lawsuit because the government spent a whole bunch of money for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade to go try and get the position of Secretary General. And then also some private citizens and some companies contributed some funding to her bid. Now, they're supposed to file. They're supposed to file some paperwork concerning the gift, and they've been fighting it. I don't know why they don't want people to know who gave money. Who gave money? Well, people we want to find out who provided the funding. And so what we had was the Minister of Information, Robert Morgan, came out and said a whole bunch of things, trying to deflect and trying to say, well, the government wasn't involved and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, what we did was we went through the Freedom of Information in America, and we got the documentation from the company that actually received the $99,000 to represent her as far as public relations concerned. And on that form, they specifically stated that the person that we are doing this for, the principal that we're working for is, and it says Kamina Johnson Smith. And then, and then they ask, is Kamina Johnson, one of the questions is Kamina Johnson Smith a government, a corporation, a blah, 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 or an individual? Them check the box individual and put that she's a Jamaican. Now, keep in mind, Finn Partners is a company that's been around for decades. They've been doing this for lots and lots of government. Now, they provided this to the U.S. government under the penalty of perjury, because if they file bad information to the government, they're subject to being prosecuted. Now, the Jamaican government now must tell me that Finn Partners put on the wrong information, because if they do, I'm going straight down to the Department of Justice myself and file a claim against Finn Partners and try and have them prosecute Finn Partners. Right? So what we're doing now, we're filing your lawsuit, and it's similar to the information I just gave.
Yes, argue that the lawsuit with him in a court, you know.
Well,
I see what they might come up with on the back. So I soon tell them they
right. Your lawsuit a little bit different. Your lawsuit a little bit different than mine. Your one is asking for leave of court. So you file it with the court and say, Judge, I have a case here to be made why the police commissioner should be retired.
Yes.
And so I need you to review it and then give me permission to file it with the court. Right?
Yes. So them go on this or no?
Yeah, mine is different. Mine is saying to the court, look, I need you to give me an administrative order, meaning a declaratory judgment, meaning we need the court to say, you're right, Mr. Rattigan.
Okay.
In that they should have filed the gift form with the Ministry of Finance and with the Integrity Commission. And that's all we need from the court to say, you're right. If based on the evidence you have given me, they should have done it. Because once that's done, then all hell broke loose. Because here's what happened now. If she Minister Kamina Johnson Smith, when she files this, she has to file it with the Integrity Commission, showing that she received this gift of $99,000 in kind. She didn't get it in cash. Now, guess what happened now? There are tax implications associated with this because our income just went up by $99,000. So now she has to go pay taxes on this $99,000 US dollars. So she and then in addition to which she now has to say who funded her bid. She has to say who gave the money. And then in addition to that, they have to show a due diligence report to say that we investigated and the money didn't come from criminal sources. They've never done none of that. And just think about this. This is something so simple and they might hide. They don't want to do it. So can you imagine about the more serious things? Can you imagine about the more serious things? And that's why it's so important for us to do this. And somebody just wrote to me about it. The funding that we're talking about, this legal fund, because it would deal with things like this. And this government and any government in the future, they would be very, very fearful. And they would act in compliance with good governance because they would know that if they're doing the shenanigans, there's a legal fund out there to pay lawyers to take them to court. Because since they won't listen, we have no choice. Either we're going to ask for permits to demonstrate, which is, one alternative or another avenue. But the one that I think that will hit them hardest is filing in court. Because guess what? When you file in court, you initiate a PR campaign against them.
Yes,
and then once you start lick them like a lawsuit every month. And I mean, we're not talking anything frivolous. We're talking stuff with
real stuff.
Exactly. Yes. It won't be long before a CNN, a BBC, a MSNBC, somebody pick it up. In addition to which, this fund will also take care of PR representation in front of people like IMF, IDB, State Department, USM, all of that. And believe me, they're deathly afraid of that. So, Herb, you know what? I hate to put you on the spot, but can you talk about the case, the Bayesian case that they found some jurisdiction down in Miami and what happened with that case, so that the listening audience can find this? And not only that, the government officials watching this program, we're not going to sleep well when they hear this case where Herb going to talk about, because if we can get jurisdiction based on how the Bayesian people get jurisdiction in America, watch out. Herb, go ahead, brother.
Exactly.
This case that occurred down in Miami started back in 1998 when they tried to take over property. There was a collusion going on between the Barbadian government, individuals in Barbados, and individuals who had moved to the U.S. And they thought that they were safe, but the case ended up when they got standing to file the case down in Miami. And the fact that they had standing in the U.S. courts, all they had to do then was find good lawyers who can then do the presentation, which they have. So now, 1998, what is that, 25 years later?
25 years, yes.
Yes. There's judgment against the government of Barbados and other individuals involved in this chicanery to rip off people's property. Similarly, we're working on something like that in Jamaica right now.
And tell them the award.
But the award,
I think it was 281 million US dollars.
281 million, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the
good, man.
Miami Jury Awards record RICO. See, they prosecuted it under RICO,
The racketeering
Mhm.
statute.
racketeering
Mhm.
statute, right? And a jury in Miami found for the plaintiffs in a civil RICO lawsuit and awarded 269
69,
plus
sorry.
million dollars, a record for this type of lawsuit. So they
Right.
really body slam the Bayesians, right? Now, if you think about it, if there's a move afoot in Jamaica to take over property where taxes hasn't been paid, or it appears the owner died and the people who are supposed to inherit the property is not around, but somehow the titles have been changed and all kinds of changes are going on, then whoever has lost property in that instance, you should rest assured that this case should give you hope that you can file your case now in the US with a US attorney and investigate what happened and file suit to do recovery. This is huge recovery after
Mm-hmm.
25 years. And this should send a clear message throughout the Caribbean to all the thieving people there that this is not going to be tolerated.
Especially Jamaica.
Well,
Trish
my
Human just
beloved
right.
Jamaica.
Trish Human just wrote, I would recommend the first case to be Colonel Charles and his
I was thinking that. I was thinking that way.
But I tell you what, right now, they're not
Yes.
sleeping well because of this case. And this case just was it had it done last week, Herb?
Yes,
Yeah,
just handed
it's a
down
brand new
last
case.
week.
So I know they're watching this and they're worried right now because if you can get jurisdiction in the US, then you bring your case. And then guess what? You're not worried about that because if it's the government, guess what? You can execute that judgment on a whole bunch of funding that them getting. Whole bunch
Someone
of
else
funding
that's
them
right, Ratty.
getting. Eh?
Richard Clark need justice. Dalrymple.
Oh,
Richard
okay.
Clark need justice. So if something like that, we can stay there and them Richard have him family overseas, same way, and them have other people. They no worries, man.
This is something else. The case is called Kingsland, and this it's a powerful story of corruption in Barbados that counters the advertised narrative that the country is unlike some other small island nations, right? Barbados corrupt power and money are arrayed against us. They take whatever they want. They don't have to pay for it. My mother fought them to keep what is rightfully hers. Witnesses at the Miami trial testified and provided evidence of extensive and deep-rooted corruption in Barbados in relation to the Kingsland case and generally throughout the country. So they didn't just stick to Kingsland. They used other examples. This is why the jury came down hard on them, right?
And listen, keep in mind, I used to work with some of the brightest people I've met. I met them in the FBI. I have to tell you, they're very creative. And one of the things that they do, and I know one guy who did extremely well. He would just sit down one day, because a lot of times we don't wait for people to bring cases to us. You go out and you make your cases. And the guy sit down, and there's an African community in New York, and he said to himself, say, you know what? They must have some criminals in another population there. Must. Just out of him just sit down and look on the map. When they get the census, look on the map where them live, and him say, you know what? They must have some criminals inside there, so we need investigating. And he went out and guess what him find? Him find a drug ring. Him find a drug ring and take them down.
Yeah.
So what happened is that Jamaica, if Barbados is such a highly respected country, right?
Yes.
And if them cannot go on with them things, I can't just imagine what going on in Jamaica.
You know, same final judge ring. But remember, we have the quote, and we have that thing when you're not about it, You never lock up people for ganja 17-year-old. But I know, a matter of fact, them are bright, Them divest to international airport. Them come with a co-port and call it international airport. We don't have no local flight. We don't have nothing the flight in that or no be a private flight. They pay a coke a fly in. And money a fly in and fly out. Right? No, them want to build Nigville airport. Them are talking about building international airport at Nigville. That don't make no sense to me.
You know,
Ratty, somebody's asking, give a ballpark about when we think we can establish the fund.
well, I don't quote me on this. Here's what I can tell you. I reached out to a very prominent attorney in the diaspora, and she is actually looking to see. She likes, this particular person likes to work behind the scenes. She doesn't like to be upfront. So and this is kind of stuff that she excels at. She likes doing this stuff. So she said she's looking right now to see whether we can do it as a non-profit corporation, if we can do it as a legal fund, or there's another one she mentioned. There's another one, but she's looking at the paperwork right now, because even up to today, I have people calling me and say, "Hey, when we send me money? Come ready for put my money."
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll give updates as we meet, so that people can understand where we are. I'll touch base with her tomorrow, because I spoke to her right after the meeting last week, and she said yes, it's something that she would love to do, and she's going to start working on it. So we'll provide an update. But the other thing too is that this suit that I'm filing, I was hoping to drop it on Tuesday, because I think tomorrow is a holiday in
Yes.
Jamaica. But what happened is that I found out now that Jamaica is as despite the amount of money where the US, the EU, Canada, and all them give them Department of Justice for modernize them systems, them still don't have e-filing. So you cannot file online. You have to actually physically walk the document down to the clerk of the court and have it stamped and pay the fees. So what? And then the other thing is they don't accept copies. They want a wet signature. So now I have to go fill it. I have the lawyer's gonna send me my affidavit tomorrow, which is this. This is a draft of it's 6 pages. I might think. So she's gonna send it to me tomorrow, and then I have to take it now, get it notarized, and then FedEx it to her, because they want the original. So it probably won't get there till like maybe Thursday, Friday. So we're looking at next week. But stay tuned, people, because this is serious business. And then the other one is that the Ministry of Agriculture, Colonel Charles Jr. It's the law says 30 days. 30 days, I'm have to respond acknowledging receipt of your request. It's been now about 130 days. And at 130 days,
that is more than 100 days.
Yeah, and two letters I send them. I file it, and then I follow up, plus I file a complaint with the tribunal, and there's a case that I have with the tribunal against them right now. And the tribunal told me that they'll reach out to them as well, and asked me to reach out to them again. So it's 130 days. Now, whoever is holding up this information, if you're listening, I just want you to know, go back and read the statute, the Access to Information statute. If you hold it up, blocking me from getting the information intentionally, you're looking at $500,000 Jamaican dollar, up to $500,000 in fine, and up to 6 months in prison. When I told the lady over at Ministry of Finance this, she sent me 2 letters within the space of a week, the same letter twice. Because I reminded her that, listen, this is what that reminded her that, look, me no play no lady. And this is what me I look at for you, because you are the named person responsible for sending me out this information. And she quick send it out to me, and then just write me again and say, listen, I sent it to you last week, not sure if you got it. I'm sending it to you again. And she sent it to me. So me have the letter twice. And the letter basically says that the minister did not file the gift form, and they did not do the due diligence. They didn't do the due diligence. And they did not put it into the expenditure thing that they're supposed to do.
Breaches.
Yeah, them never put none of that. Not at all.
All because
But
she's above the law. She's above the law, right?
That's what she feel.
Well, you go find out.
But something, Ratty and Herb and Wayne, you see, all the basis for all this work, nobody hates Jamaicans. Nobody hates Jamaican politicians. We all want them to succeed, but they have to stop the corruption. And all of this is aimed at getting them to operate in an. Are we going to stamp out of corruption 100%? No country can do that. But at the level that it is happening in Jamaica, it can be curtailed. They can operate like ministers of government and not ministers of themselves and their friends. So this is the basis for all of this, is to hold them accountable and ensure that they do the right thing. Because you're saying there now they don't do e-filing, yet they get so much money. Jamaica gets more money from IMF than any other country in the Caribbean, and they cannot modernize their system. Yes, they can. They choose not to, because half of the corruption money, half of the money gone to corruption, could make Jamaica a better country.
So sis, you just say e-filing. Me what is say e-filing, you know. You know what them call e-passport? Readable passport.
E-passport. Yes, yes.
E-passport. Them, I don't know why when them come up in a Jamaica call a e-passport. You think so okay, you know, I have a literal passport now, cause you know we do e-transfer. Them come up with e-passport when you look at a literal passport in a ratty. I say, oh, it have a chip where you can read. That they all over the place. We card it have chip, you read it. With credit card and the other card, them have chip. So, you know, them call it e-passport.
But them not do
But
e-filing.
that's not where the focus
But
should
them
be.
not
You see, that's
e-filing.
not where the focus should be. There are other more
But them not
important things that the
e-passport.
government needs to
Everybody
focus
now
on.
use
You
an
know.
e-passport. A
Yeah.
foolish system attack. It's just a passport
It's a
with a
waste
chip.
of money.
It's a passport with a chip where you do know it's a readable passport. So when them scan it, you know, it'll come up with their information and everything. Them I call it e-passport. You ever just tell it say e-filing, but you know, like me that send an email to you, electronic
Mhm.
electronic passport, them don't have that. Oh, you call
Them
it
not
e-passport.
e-filing, yeah.
A peaker must still clear that man down. A peaker come up with them foolish thing, man.
You
I know
know,
why them do these things, you know.
you know what? I'm constantly reminded whenever I hear incidents about public corruption.
Yes.
Constantly reminded about the Jamaica national anthem. And people,
Yeah.
we say it, we mouth it, but people don't pay attention to the words, you know. Eternal Father, bless our land, guard us with thy mighty hand, keep us free from evil powers. We don't know who are nowadays the evil powers are the corrupt politicians, them.
And them,
Be
They're
our light
everywhere.
through
They're
countless
everywhere in
hours.
Jamaica.
Yeah, no, here it said, to our leaders, great defender,
Great
grant true
defenders.
wisdom from above. Well, we don't see no wisdom.
them
No,
not have
sir.
none.
Where the
Them
wisdom?
don't have gum. Teeth have gum, but no wisdom.
There's no God, no
What
wisdom.
back at them? Yeah, man.
No
No
wisdom.
wisdom. Eh?
You know,
Oh, Lord.
Them lie through them teeth, man.
there's another
It is
issue.
a sad situation. It is a sad, and I think that anthem was written by Robert Lightburn, if I'm not mistaken. Will
Yes, him on the next one day, yes.
Yeah.
Robert
Yeah,
Lightburn?
the
Yeah,
planet now.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
yeah.
It's
So-
a
Them say 4 people write it. 4.
Four.
You Sherlock,
Yeah.
Lightburn,
Sure, yeah, Hugh Sherlock. Yes, yes.
Mapletoft Pouye, and
Maybe
somebody
tell
named
fool.
Miss Pouye and his wife.
Mm.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
4 of them.
It's a great anthem, but the words aren't taken seriously.
Nah, people just say it and it don't
People
really
just
mean
say it.
You
anything.
see it
maybe-
because it's an anthem, so you sing the anthem. And the
No.
leaders have failed and are failing us.
Mapletop Pool was the orchestra leader at pantomime.
Okay.
My dad played in the orchestra,
Okay.
and he
Them couldn't,
he was an attorney downtown.
them could make him write one line in another thing. No?
Look, the politician them claim that they wrote. They might have put their signature to it, but I doubt if they wrote anything. But I
No.
think Poole wrote that thing.
No, here's the thing. I just want to switch gears for a bit. We might come back to this lawsuit thing because we have to talk about the man in the wilderness lawsuit and some other things.
Of
But
course.
here's one issue that I think all Jamaicans can coalesce around. All Jamaicans can identify with this issue. And the issue is general access to beaches. We talk about it the other day.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
But you know what? I
Yes.
read in the newspaper this week that Rio, they're building another hotel and they
Yes.
just kick off some people off of the beach.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Why? You build a hotel.
But they don't need any more hotels, you know.
Yeah.
They don't need any more hotels.
Yeah, man.
They-
Me have said, Uncle Jamaica alone in the atmosphere, you say, where you come with a hotel and you itch up a people beach, you forget the beach with it. You have to get
The
piece of the
beach-
beach. You have to
beach-
control the beach, and I call it private beach. The
Yeah.
beach cannot be private. I mean, you play something with Pernell Charles. I talk about smoke and terrorism and make people feel like they might get raped. So you don't want to mix up the local with, and then you lose your tourist them. The man at this Jamaican, straight up. We do a
But
program.
Wayne,
Yes.
when we look at Mexico, do you hear the Mexican government talking about, yes, Mexico has a problem with crime like every other country.
Yes.
But the people of Mexico have access to their beaches. We don't
Everywhere
have
else.
we don't have the conversation like what Colonel Charles is disrespecting the very people that voted him into office when he was in politics. And he's talking about public and private beaches. There should be no public and private beach. You build a hotel, you build pools. And the people should have access to the beach. Why should foreigners have more access to local beaches in Jamaica and locals in Jamaica have no access whatsoever? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. And then he's talking about wanting to build hotel in St. Thomas, where he stole that 1,500 acres of land. And I'm like, Jamaica needs no more hotels. They need no more hotels.
But let me say something to you now. President Charles talk about private and public beaches. Oh, we're going back in the 60s now in America when you have the civil rights movements, the segregation in your own country. So black people looking at we're going back in apartheid days in South Africa. This is the government where you have voting and I tell you say you don't have no rights to your beaches and them can just kick out people off of your beach. Your own beach. That don't make no sense. The people them have to wake up. Yes, sir.
Yes, listen. In the Kingland Estates case concluded recently in Miami, the jury heard evidence that agricultural lands of Kingland Estates were fraudulently sold for pennies on the dollars. Think back to the case where in St. Anne, where government had property that was valued between 11 and 13 million US dollars and sold it for $7 million, right? Okay, now this case, immediately the Barbados government rezoned the land for commercial purposes, from agricultural to commercial. For the new government insider owners, right? Is anybody in the government owning property down the beachfront property that they just took over, right? Resulting in millions of dollars profit overnight. The government also expropriated lands for projects that never happened. At least one government minister ended up building a house and living on fraudulently expropriated Kingsland Estate land. And guess what? The land had beachfront property. Now, why you think Barbados today no longer is restricting beachfront? Could very well be because of this case. Because
so the beachfront still, because when we go like Christchurch and them place, I mean, I thought that did it 30 years, a long time ago, Barbados. You just go, you stay, you see enough tourists from everywhere. So them not segregate you. And then you just go to the beach. You go to the beach all in the evening, the night when it's a dust thing, you go to the beach. You want to go look for flying fish or something. You're good, man. But them not lock off them beachfront.
Yeah.
So for decades, Barbados, because we're down there and my mama and we're down there a long time. For decades, them not lock off the beachfront. We don't know them lock off them beach. So they building them in more. And the beach, you can't go down to the beach. You go all the beach. You know, you build hotels. Them fi have pools. You build pools. Now Jamaica is a hot climate place, right? No snow on a fall there. One thing that we have a Jamaica. So in the summer, the sun are more redder than red. And you can't go to the beach go cool out. So you die from heat stroke. It's wicked, man. You can't lock off the beaches like this. And I lock off the river them too. Cut up people off. Lease out the place. You never know you lease out river.
The current case we're discussing in Jamaica right now concerns thousands of acres of waterfront property on the river. and the woman's son was in attendance at some briefing at a popular hotel on the North Coast. And that hotel owner was mentioning that they needed to take over certain properties that's not going to good use. So you can imagine he sit there, and when their property was specifically mentioned, how shocked he must have been. But it seems that since the pier, Barbados and others, because Grenada had a problem too, they were getting away with taking over the beachfront property and restricting access. So now that this case has gone in this direction, I'm gonna send you, Wayne, some stuff you can put it out, which tells you who they can contact about the case, and get more additional information, right? So this is needed. It's badly needed to stop these culprits from eyeing people's property and taking it over, using all kinds of methods, using the legal system to take people's places over for lack of paying taxes or some other excuse that they come up with.
Here Trish write something say, Ratty. Trish write something say, this is why they want to move the king, Like she say, I say I can't find back the thing. Like they want to move the king fast in a years, But people have to be careful of what them are doing, with the constitution thing with them want to rewrite. But look who want to do it, Yeah? Them have to be careful. Because anything our people hear them just jump to it and say, yes, it'll make you better, it'll make you richer and all kind of things now.
Look.
Just isolated more and then they can't do what they want to do.
We had on Dr. Nadine Spence on the program on Saturday. She's on one of the subcommittees of the constitutional reform, that initiative. And she explained what they were trying to do and how they're doing it. But there's some things that, she really couldn't explain. Like, for example, I mentioned to her that ask her about states of emergency. And I said the Constitution does not provide for states of emergency to be used for law enforcement purposes or as enhanced security measures. It provides for states of emergency
for disaster,
for natural disaster, insurrection, and war. Natural disaster, insurrection, and war.
Yes.
When you use a state of emergency to fight crime, to combat crime, that's not within the purview of the. In fact, it's a violation of the Constitution.
Yeah, because them carry it and but we know that. Yeah, over the world them use it. When they.
So one of the questions asked was whether or not they were working on removing this provision from the Constitution. But what I'm afraid of is that they'll remove it and rewrite it to include law enforcement.
Exactly.
It's so bad. I know you have to come with a referendum. And I have to let the people them know that them that tell us no, we not do that. Me not give them my right to know what body. Not like me, they can just take me and just slap me up. If you have it for 3 years, you'll just slap me away for 3 years, not at all.
No, but think about it. When a government can intentionally, willingly, knowingly violate the Constitution, and say, take me go court, that's a breakdown of the society once you start doing something like that. That's similar to like, you shouldn't ask a witness a question because the opposing counsel going to object to it. Like you ask a man, the man sit down on the witness stand, and is a personal injury case, a car accident case, and you go ask the man, when was the last time you beat your wife? No, say them are going to object to it, and it are going to be sustained. Right, but what you already planting that the jury's mind is that this man beat up his wife,
and that have nothing to do with the case.
It have nothing to do with the case.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you just want to paint him as a monster.
Yeah,
Not try
so
to paint him as a
right,
monster.
so them
Horrible
do,
person, yes.
yeah. So you just ignore the rules because you know say it gonna be, you know say them gonna object, and you know so it's the same thing with them. Them know say it a violate the constitution, and them just say the hell with it. We're gonna do it anyway.
And you know who believe in that General Lampile and Google Gada?
Who
And
that?
then
Who them people there?
come on and push
Who
in
are
a
those? Who are those people, sir?
Eh?
Do you mind identifying those folks? I don't
Google
recognize
Gada is the
names.
commissioner of police and General Lampile, but them take and turn in a, but them call him in a ambassador now.
Oh, plenipotentiary. Yeah.
Plenipotentiary. Ambassador.
Plenty potential. That's what it means.
A penitentiary, them figure. But penitentiary, a penitentiary, them figure. Yeah, man. Sir
No.
Gooks and General Lampire.
No, you know the prime minister recently said. I think it was like maybe I don't know. 8 months. It's not a year. He was speaking. I think he was speaking at that church right at the corner, Washington Boulevard and Mullines Road. And
Yes, Anglican. Yes, a big church.
Yeah. And he was saying he choked up because he was saying he's not about popularity anymore. He was talking about crime, and he said he's not about popularity anymore. He's thinking about his legacy.
Yes.
And I said to myself, so hold on a second.
Legacy.
You are think about legacy? You are think about legacy? I said, no, man, this must be a joke. Just do the work and make people talk about your legacy.
You see it?
Exactly.
Do the work and make people talk about your legacy. But him said, no, it's not about popularity. It's about my legacy. I said, this is a young man, and they talk about legacy. But no what?
And that's not it's not for him to determine. It's not for him to do the work, as you say, but it's not his job to determine what his legacy is going to be.
Exactly. Let historians and let other people talk about your legacy.
Exactly.
You talk about it, And then it's like, no, I guess him see the writing on the wall because now him come and I read something somewhere where my beg people and say they must abandon the party.
Must be hard on the government.
Yeah.
But him abandon the people them long time. Because in the pandemic, you are look from poor people when have no money. And two sisters come out and them have to pay what? 400,000 them have to borrow money for pay for mask. Them trim the Rasta girl and when you look, strike 5. Let go the police. We not believe her. Strike 5 they did if you say you not believe the girl like you put up and stand like you're judge. Strike 5 should have done one match my Santa long time. We know none of these people, it bad. No man, it bad man, it's terrible. Yeah? And this is what the Prime Minister run like you think say a Palestine and Israel. And I said it should stop. It needs to stop. A man with 21% of the voting population. The whole thing, 21%. Can you imagine if him get 51? And did get 60, you couldn't talk to him. He might walk on cloud 9. 21, he might not even a real Prime Minister, brother. Them for put something in place now where anything under certain percentage, you run over back something and you have a coalition government. It can't be somebody with 21%. Remember, and a 21% vote for him. Me attack him overall for party 21%. So you have 79% of vote for you. And then you are ruled with this kind of iron fist, iron toe, iron knee, iron everything. Can you imagine if him have some more back in?
Well, no, you understand why the promise about term limit for the Prime Minister. Now you understand why I'm not fulfill the promise there.
Him no want fulfill it.
Never fulfill it.
No.
And that should be in the Constitution.
Yeah.
But him say it. It's the next lie again. If him promise them not come true, You understand?
It should be in the Constitution that you can sleep with your door open and your window open.
Yeah.
That was should be in the
But
Constitution.
before you do that, hey people, let me tell you something. You see what the Prime Minister say? Before you do that, make sure you get the money. If you don't have the money, beg the diaspora something. Your family member, buy your little car stick, put it one side. You have your tombstone and everything. When you're ready for sleep with the door open in Jamaica. The last man tried that, Them knock him. Them pepper him up. So follow what Prime Minister say. When him say left, go right. If him say go right, go left. Go the opposite direction. If him say turn up, run. If him say run, well, fly. You can't turn up, you don't want to turn up on him. You know what I mean? No,
but,
serious thing.
No.
Yeah,
but when
yes.
I just want to, somebody mentioned in here that just like Israel, you cannot be the leader of a country with vote counts below 50%.
That is
But
it.
look at Israeli people raising hell.
Mm.
Why?
Yes.
Because a
Yes.
crooked prime minister is trying to get control of the Supreme Court, put them under his portfolio.
You must
Where
back
did
off.
we see that happen before? Anybody remember?
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
They're trying to control the courts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the same way now you're trying to control the Integrity Commission by claiming
Mhm.
that they made too many errors and that they need to be realigned.
But him want to look over the integrity. The pilot. But look at him fool now. You see everything when I said, remember, win back. And when you look, you dropping on someone else hand. Because them not think about that, And that me tell you, them say them bright, but them brain really shallow. Them have kind of crab kind of brain, crab. And you have one crab, but you have many crabs there. Yeah? All right. So you have do all these kind of things, and when you look, the shoes change from the other feet. What you do? You see a man come ball out after you said it. No, this and this and this and that and that and that. You're not going to be Prime Minister all the while. And you're not going to be back no more Prime Minister. It's not going to work. Some people will start go to prison. Some people need to start go to prison. People will stop thinking about diated. You're this, you're PMP, you're GLP. No, you're Jamaican. Stop it, them trick you. Like yesterday, somebody said I'm one with a bun. When you look, you're a member of parliament, someone must in a Westmoreland. With that one look nasty looking bun. There's one in your palm of your hand that, come on. Put him face on the bun to Ratty. It hurt, my man.
Let's see it.
You can't do these things, man. They're out of order, man.
But the people should, when they do these things, the people should give it back to them and say, no, I'm not eating a bun with your face on it. What take this thing for? It's not HCB. We have HCB and national. They're just out of order.
Very embarrassing.
Things are getting crazy because if they're losing popularity and they're going as far now as to putting their images on your food, you must know that something's not right with that.
You come and hand out a bun. What is a bun? So me can remember you say give me a bun so you can get my vote because you can buy me out of that bun. That makes sense?
So what happened to the $5,000, Wayne?
No, but that never make no sense neither. You can't buy way out. And you can't come with 20 and buy way out neither. I mean, I tell the people them say nothing. One of the video them when them carry it come and send it, come give me. More and see who have won the money. Yeah, man. If I make quick out of it, man. Oh, them get the money.
But you know something, Wayne. You know something, Wayne. This is an opportune time for the opposition to really take stock of the slate of candidates they're going to field for the next election, because it cannot be business as usual. It is not working. Something has to give. Something has to change. It cannot continue like this. Because the people are the ones who are suffering. The people vote them in, and what they vote for are people, they're really voting against their interests. They're voting for people who do not support them. They're voting for people who will take away the very rights that they have given to them. So they have to field politicians who are, one, not corrupt, and two, who are willing to do the work of the people for the people because they're by the people.
Someone sent me the picture here. You remember I said them are stepping at the people, them neck? Look here.
Listen, I just spoke
you
to the attorney.
You see how it is? I step on the man head. Andrew this? Yeah, man, I am, man.
Okay.
Is that the Clark's shoes in my mouth?
The Clark's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what funny about the Clarks? What funny about the Clarks, he might wear it, the other people might wish for wear one, but them not give them no.
There you go. There you go.
And listen, I just talked to the lawyer working on this this thing for us. And I told her because somebody, a very dear a dedicated listener to your show, just said that she can put up $10,000 towards it, and I have about 3 or 4 more people since within the last half hour
There
ask
are
for where,
100 people that said drop.
so where can they
Yes.
send the money? Where
Yep.
can they send the money? The thing open up already.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Soon
So
open, man. Let me
It
tell you.
has to happen. It has to happen just for the sake of making
And
Jamaica a
family
better
lawyers
place.
and them thing then because we not trust them. That's why more I
Yeah.
answer something Ratty
yeah,
and Herb and Maria. When them want to move the king. Say them move the king and them push that on the people them head like this are the most important thing for them now. And people think say, yes, man, we're free, man, because Charles and thing, okay. So when they put in them figurehead, move the GG and put in them figurehead president, because figurehead like down in a Trinidad. Who them up turning at them president now? Because if them go through now, if them can't go through for the end of the year, them have to put in turns for it. The same GG them turning at the president, you know. I'm going to do the signing, figurehead. So what am I going to do? Any case, it now go to the privy council again. Remember, Jamaica thing, we have some local corrupted thing, you know. And them know each other, even down in the Caribbean, kind of for them go school together, you know. Them go university together and go study together. So that if you can't trust them in a business, but them want to say, you have to make sure this thing right when it touch them. Because me not trust them, you know. Me not trust them. Them never put in the diaspora. Upon them thing where when them say them I don't know, them put a man from Canada.
yes.
Yeah? No one from the diaspora, it's bad. It tell me better. Where's that?
You know, you raised the issue of the privy council, and that's a significant issue because it's a divisive issue. I mean, I think you can get consensus that remove the king as the head of state, but the idea of removing, the idea of completely submitting your criminal cases, your for appeal to the CCJ. I think there is no consensus there because some people still want it to go to the Privy Council. Them still want vestiges of that colonial past there. I don't know how that one going to work out. But the thing is, Jamaica funds the CCJ in Trinidad, but they don't send them criminal cases there. They send the commercial cases there. But they don't send the criminal cases, so they use it just for limited purposes, which don't make any sense to me.
It makes sense in a way because they are afraid. Just like you have a jury of your peers, these are your peers that you would be sending the case to for review. And who else but your peers know exactly how corrupt you are, right?
That's true.
And some of them don't corrupt too,
Yeah, the Privy Council looking at your position and thinking that you upholding these high standards. But the Caribbean CCJ would know, well, I know what this man is involved with. It's right in front of me here, and this is the proof. So, let's take action. The bottom line is the need to bring things home to the Caribbean, to strengthen the Caribbean, to have integrity in the Caribbean. And that's if they keep acting like they're above the law, then that's why they feel only the Privy Council can talk to them because they're higher and they're better than their neighbors, right? This is all about that classism that exists for so long in the Caribbean. They need to get rid of that.
Plus, one quick question. Plus, keep in mind that the CARICOM leaders, they're very distrustful of Jamaica, particularly the Prime Minister, going back to what he did with Minister Kamina Johnson, when they had the consensus saying they were going to support Baroness Scotland. And then right.
The Venezuela thing too, because remember when them sit back and say when I follow this, him run go kick out what and make the aisle go up and way. The Prime Minister. I know they want about America, want about Venezuela now. So him get shut out. Where you put we now? Where you put we now? Because some other islanders say no, we're not go against Venezuela, Because we get this and we get a deal and then we have pay fee that way and we have this for use and we can use the money to do this. Him run gone with jump. And then when it get kicked out now, we don't know what going on. America attack to Venezuela now with oil. Where Jamaica stand with that?
And probably I ask America, say, listen, when you make a deal with Venezuela, try cut a deal for we too.
So he's basically a follower, not a leader, because
Exactly.
leaders stand on their own 2 feet.
And
Exactly.
you have some smaller state in the Caribbean stand up and say, no, we now go with this, But him go with it. It's bad. Ratty, straight up, said something to you. Ratty, can you comment on the fact that there are several ministries in the department under the office? If the Prime Minister who integrity filing cannot be clear. In them said there are several ministries and departments under the office.
In the Prime Minister's office, yes.
Yeah, under the office. But must say his office. If the Prime Minister who integrity files cannot be clear. They must have said off. Them put if, but off. After Prime Minister or F. Them just put off. If IF. Of the Prime Minister who integrity filing cannot be clear. There's several departments under his office.
That's true. I think it's about 18. I'm not quite sure of the number, but it's
18 or 19, something like that. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a disgrace when you have your Prime Minister cannot get his financial disclosures verified. What I tell you, is that him put on things on the farm, on the disclosures, that Integrity Commission is saying, we can't verify this thing here. They might find more. And they must say, well, we can't reconcile what we've discovered with what he submitted. There's a disconnect. Exactly. It doesn't match. Right?
You have a Prime Minister country and no, him not file from 2021.
In file, but them can't verify.
Can't verify.
Right.
And him not make no attempt to verify these things that are now 2 years in.
Yeah. I mean, that's a disgrace because look, you suppose as a leader set the example.
Yes.
You set the example and say, listen, I am going to file, and if there's an issue, I'm going to rectify this issue right away. But when them can't, it's a couple of years now, them can't rectify, them can't verify the information and put on paper. And you see, I'm not saying the Prime Minister is guilty of any bad acts. I'm not saying that. But I'm going to say this, that when you submit a financial disclosure and it cannot be verified, and there's no attempt on your part for them to verify it or to make sure that everything is clear, then it begs the question, what's going on? What are you hiding?
What are you hiding? Yes.
And we shouldn't have somebody leading us who cannot get his financial disclosures verified, because this goes to the heart of public corruption.
Yes,
but this goes to the heart of public corruption. Because if I'm only earning $5 and I put on a piece of paper say I'm earning $4, and the man them finds them I earn $50, then them say, wait, this no match. So how you account for, you put on $4, how do you account for the other 46? Because we find 46, you said $4, but you get paid for $5. So it's just all over the place. So, I mean, this is disgraceful. This is disgraceful, and that's why public corruption in Jamaica, there's no real attempt. There's real talk, but there's no real attempt to address it, because people look at it and say, well, look, if the Prime Minister can't get finances verified,
why should they care?
Why should they? Yeah. Why? Hey, look at what going on with Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. She no file either. She no file the $99,000 what she get in kind for construction services. She no file.
Yes, there's a pattern of bad behavior.
Bad behavior, yes.
But listen, if JAMP, who is funded through the EU, and the NIA that receives funding from other sources, if they don't get involved, right? Who are we to step over from the diaspora over their heads and do this ourselves? These people need to get off the sideline and get in the game, because they have attorneys that they can depend on, that they can push to do these filings. You know,
I'll tell you something, Herb. I'll tell you something from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
People in Jamaica, they are willing to take the back seat and support us quietly and say,
Right.
you guys go ahead and do it because we live here and we know the kind of regime we have here.
Yes,
Because,
yes.
because if you talk about the prime minister, you see what happened when you talk about the prime minister,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to run guide on your bed and them still find you.
But the
So,
one them hide on them bed right now, when I have no ramp with them, you know, because you see when we have files on them, we not ramping. And remember, international, we work with international laws, we not work with them.
right. Because
We
what would
don't
happen
even
is, say,
recognize them.
what happen
We
when
don't
we have this
recognize them.
funding going and we have this representation, then people
Yes.
can go to the International Corruption Unit of the FBI. All right.
Yeah.
They can go to the State Department, the desk officers will cover Jamaica. You can go to the IMF, you can go to the EU, you can go to all of the funding streams and say, look, this is what's going on and we need action to be taken. And the people in Jamaica, believe me, they're quietly supporting us.
Yes, man.
That's good.
Quietly
But
supporting us.
you know something, gentlemen, what we do on this platform, especially every Sunday, people are paying attention. People are paying attention.
Mhm.
And who we think isn't watching is watching.
Mhm.
And I believe that the government, especially the government of the day, which is Jamaican Labour Party, they're really on their heels because they don't know from this discussion what anybody who is somebody then, so to speak, is going to take from it and say, you know, we need to pay attention to something else here. We need to look over there because this is not being done in a vacuum. It is being done to influence the right people and to bring about a level of change that has never taken place before in Jamaica. And people are listening, and the government needs to really either shape up or ship out because this is no joke. This is really no joke. Enough is enough. And we have all come to that point now where we have to say, you know what? We can't take it anymore. Nobody can take this anymore. What country operates this way and gets away with it all the time? None.
True. True. Yes, sir.
The you know, I keep thinking back to our Miami case, right? Because we have to reach out to that law team,
Right.
and we have to find out from them. Surely, you might have seen other indicators in other Caribbean islands, because they spoke to other Caribbean islands doing the same things in that in that case, right? And I recall the uh, Al Jazeera program about 3 or 4 years ago that covered St. Lucia, Barbados, and Grenada, and the similarities are all there. So it seems as if there is some empowerment within CARICOM for these leaders to think that they can get away with this stuff and to disenfranchise their own people, right? So we're gonna have to get, you know, down and dirty and to find out more information and to see if that team of lawyers are willing to take on maybe the case that we're looking at right now. Because to me, that is the only thing is going to make these people pay attention is the law, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you are U.S. citizen, whether you're Jamaican or not, right? But you've been disenfranchised by illegal activity in Jamaica, I think you need to go to the embassy, report it to the Homeland Security investigators there, start a file, so that when the case is called up in court, there is a file that exists, and force these investigators to take a hard look at this corruption that is running wild. You know, we have an ambassador in Jamaica that's Jamaican, right? You can't see I'm blind, hear and deaf. You're going to have to start saying something to the government about curbing the amount of corruption that he knows is there. The last ambassador knew this, and he used that information to get what he wanted out of the office of the prime minister. And he's still using them to this day, right? Because he got a member of the office of the prime minister's visa back, right? Against the wishes of the State Department. So something has to give.
Yeah.
Sometimes, when people move smart, and I want to respect America, you just knock out, and you catch some fish in your trap, because you have no fishes to catch. Yeah, fisherman. So, anything can happen and the number can play. So when them grin them teeth and them think it's peace and safety, something else. So no care when them get back, them can go and pray upon that. Because this is America, And when we see them charge Trump, you must know, say, them not ramp. And go Jamaica Prime Minister, they were on the feet, say, we're exempt. Can you imagine you have a minister cost police and then police get transferred and things and scrap people?
Because the justice system isn't working for the people. The justice system is working for the politicians, because that police officer right there and then had the right and the authority to arrest Edward Warmington.
Of course.
And put him through the court system. He had that right.
He should do it, but never. And him could have served him as someone's like where Jenny thing they just come and say she do. When the soup Edwards take out the young miss, she serve her as someone. Yeah,
it's shameful.
Take her to court. So why him could have do it? Why never do it?
Well, if you have a police commissioner who supports his men and women and tell him to go out and enforce the law and don't worry about anything because he's got the backs. If that is coming from him and that failed to happen, then they need to state this, right? But the middle managers, that means the assistant commissioners, the other deputy commissioners, as well as all these area officers, division superintendents, all of them need to make that statement. They need to tell the rank and file, look, I've got your back, you go out and do your job. Now, if that superintendent works for an assistant commissioner, my question is, what action is that assistant commissioner supposed to take in sanctioning or doing other criminal action for obstruction of justice against that superintendent? They need to explain all of these things to the people of Jamaica.
I'm Ratty.
Yeah.
Ratty. You notice Google Gaga anytime him hear say case or anything him name call up and then him get bumming and come out about crime drop, crime this, crime that, crime drop. You know drop crime. And I think when put in the what? When the young man came on this platform and down in a Granville, we talk to the people them down there, them talk to the people them down there. So you have the more crime and then we talk to enough ghetto youth and talk to some of the youth. Hey, listen to us. Them now drop crime. Them I use every and the tactic for them alone the crime not drop. You said crime drop, but them shoot up Beryllium reverse and get 33 million. 33 million in a 3 week. Yeah? And the government want to do business with them, take what taxpayers money give them. One member Val say, this, we can't duplicate this. And who said this not great? Like him not say, hey, alive, we are telling you. So this we have to work with them. And then we stop crime with them. When we look, them shoot up an next Beryllium just a couple days ago. Them have a chase for them life. I went to a police station. But them have the latest technology, modern technology, for keep off terrorists and keep off criminals and everything. That make no sense. That make none at all. Prime the Google Gaga now post up about crime drop and rape drop because they know say them are gonna argue something. We not follow him in. I do it last year, and it go up to 1,498. It passed that them just stop it there so. So we not follow him. Yeah? Yes, Ratty.
A couple of things. One is it's disgraceful to have a man in the seat of the police commissioner failing as badly and as miserable as this police commissioner and still trying to hold on and every year trying to prove himself that what he's doing is working. You're talking about somebody who has no law enforcement background. and then it's a square peg in a round hole. It won't fit. It no fit. And then I think it's unfair also too for the Prime Minister for asking to bring down crime, knowing this man's background. But this is what the Prime Minister did was in prime him, and bring him and say, I want you to be my national security advisor so you can see how things work. And then make him do an apprenticeship period in the position for about a year and a half or so. Then him say, okay, you're ready now. And them launch him over this place, over the JCF. And from the man reach over the JCF, it's been a miserable failure because think about it. The crime rate has gone down one time, I think by 60 murders. I mean, the homicide rate, one time since he's been there. No, it went down one year.
Yeah,
he's been there since
2018, remember now 1,200 and something, Ratty.
Right.
But after that, every year is 1,300 and something. It
Right.
come down in one of the year,
It come down 1 year, yeah.
Not under the 1,300 doing now.
No. But it dropped by about.
It's up.
Yeah, I think it dropped by about.
Back under 1,200.
Yeah, it dropped like about 30 and then it went up by 60 the next year.
Yes, but I see 1,300 add.
Right. It's just been
Yes.
going up and up and up. And him talk all kind of nonsense. And this Jamaica people, believe me, take it from a boy. Take it from your family member. Take it from 30 years of FBI experience. Round the world. Not just in America, but round the world. As Burro Bantam would say, right across the board. Right? Right across the board. I'm not right across the globe, right? I'm not telling to say what this man is doing, right? This man is doing virtually nothing. Him talk, and I know people who know him quite well, and them say him is a master at PowerPoint. Him study it and him can tell you this and tell you that, but get him to do it, and him don't understand it. You know what I like? It's hard for me to sit down with somebody like that because it's gonna be a total embarrassment. But what I would like to say, I would like to see him take him intelligence, because him claims his intelligence led policing him a deal with. I would like him take it and sit down, take all of them, 10, 12, high command, take 20 of them and sit down with just two people and make we have a discussion, me and Herb.
Yeah, man.
Make the two of we sit down with him. Because the two of we know about intelligence-led policing, you know.
I don't forget my popcorn for that one, Ratty.
Well, I tell you what, it won't last long. Make
sure
you get a small bag of popcorn. Make sure you get a small,
Yeah, don't forget popcorn for that.
No, get a
that too. What? I'm serious. Google and the one wearing the police now. They
I'm a virtual man. Where am I?
No,
Yeah, where am I my friend, so? Dennis my talk, man. Dennis my talk.
I don't do them want to talk. None of them are the police, you know. None of them. So good. No, but and then I one day.
No, but listen, Dennis has a police title. So by virtue of that, he's a police.
No, that's a title.
No, but he admits he never got the training.
But Google not admit nothing. So the two of them are fake cop.
But you know what? Somebody just wrote to me, you know, and them call them name. But again, for that legal fund, them decide to put them confirm it. They're gonna put 10,000 when we started. We're only asking for $100, but this person is gonna put 10,000. And them said the new Rio that is being built in Trelawney next to the Royalton Hotel. It was a local owned hotel called Mango's Jamaica, and Rio buy the land adjacent to it. So them say uno figure, because them say, you know, them are just make them money and them not care about it. No, the Prime Minister cannot sit down on an issue like this. He cannot sit down on an issue like this and say, well then, boy, you know. But here's what happened. Jamaica people, listen to me carefully on this beach issue. We don't need to apply the pressure. We need to apply the pressure to the Prime Minister for making make a decision. No, because what happened, I'm going to use it as an election thing. We're going to get some kind of concessions from the people them, and then say, see, we're getting some concessions when you can use the beach. Then maybe when you can use the beach 1 day, one hour a day, or whatever. Make him free up the beaches. Them no, we need the beaches them to be freed. No, not before the election. No.
I know what I tell him. I'm glad you tell him that, because he can't use nothing for election as long as we're on there now. Remember in the election of 2020, him free up the youth them from out of the SOE. And then he lock them up and do what he want to do after. You understand? Mm-hmm. So let them go. which him have to go let them go because one of them must sue him or two of them must sue the government and win. Them win. You make people lose them job for Christ's sake.
You know what?
Police hustle.
Let me throw this out there, right? My mother used to tell me, say, self-praise is no recommendation. But sometimes you have to praise yourself because when people not do it, or them afraid to do it, then you have to be proud of who you are and just stand up for where you believe in and your principles. I will make an offer to the government of Jamaica right now. Because we know them all listen. Bring all of the law enforcement officials want to have. All of them. And them can study for this initiative when we are talking about. Bring all of them and sit down with just me and her. You can only bring 20, bring a battalion, bring 100. I want to just sit down and we sit down on one side. I want to sit down with 100 on the other side. And we talk about how we are going to solve Jamaica's crime problem. And we make the public listen. This is not going to do the private. We'll make the public listen to make them understand now we're experience, we're determination, we're passion, we're all of them things in life. They're right. So this where we are, this little platform where we are talking about, this are the university. These are the university for poor people. Because I also we broke down things so people can understand. Because when them talk in a garden house and the other places, people, algorithm, logarithm, tropical rhythm, all kind of rhythm. You know, nobody no understand. And what them do, them we just say, them we say algorithm. But look for my clocks. Them people are behind it. They don't understand algorithm, but they understand clocks. I'm saying, clocks. And then they realize that them not getting no clocks. But you see, we are a dependent people to some degree. It's almost like some of the black churches in America. And some of the churches in Jamaica, the people them are dead. My mother used to take 2 trains to go to Harlem. I want church where one white man around. And the white man I drive Mercedes. And in Picnic I drive Mercedes. And my mother take train and I take the money. My mother work as a maid. And I take her money, carry go all the way Harlem, 2-3 train, 3 hours for reach, 3 hours to come back home and gone there. And the little man take the money. And the same thing I go on here, so.
Same problem.
So
because you see, they see Andrew Holness wearing a green Clarks, and they cannot afford the green Clarks that Andrew Holness is wearing. And yet they will think that he's one of them. He's not one of them.
When I said
he's not one of them.
No, when
he's
I said
just profiling.
Yeah, when I say dependent, you know, there's something inherent in us now that we want to see our leaders be like. It's almost like, you know, when we in law school, them say, make sure, say, even if you're starved and you're dead, when you come out of law school and you start to practice, make sure you go lease a Benz, because people want to say, you see where my lawyer drive though, even though them are walking up. See where my lawyer drive. So same thing, you see where my leader wear Clarks. You don't have no Clarks, you're Butterfoot. You don't have no Clarks, and you have no hope of getting one. And him not give you none.
No. You know what at me at Ratty? You know what at me? Carlos, we see you. Big up yourself, my fam. Big up yourself. You know what at me, Ratty? The Prime Minister, after him spend so much money on the police force, him spend the most money. Then when you look the police, the marine police, I mean, I St. Elizabeth, living a little thing when rain fall water, wet them not have no stove, them not have nothing, light cut off. Then you have police station, when you look them if you take taxi, go up on crime scene, a beat up taxi man. Who them ticket, you know? Because them not have no car. Then you have police in a St. Thomas. When you look on the side, them say around 22 district themselves. Them not have no car. It no make no sense. But him have around, him have the amount of car, him have around $200 million worth of vehicle. Him have 2 range, him have matching range. Listen. Him have all kind of things, him have how much bike, him have everything, the amount of thing him have more than what enough police station have.
Listen,
I
have one of them days,
a third world country.
One of them days, Lonesome, I'm going to get permission for this. But I have 3 contracts where a senior policeman sent to me. He want 3 car engine. And him said to me, say, Ratty, if you can't talk to the diaspora, even get me 1. We're good. Because right now I walk. 3 car engine. I have them. I have the invoices them where him send, come give me. 3.
I'm show them in a car, but when we talk, no, we just put out the name, because we not show them the name. We just have to show them, because you know we never put them in. We have to show them, we have to show them. Yeah?
Hey, Wayne.
Yes.
Somebody was asking about the case number for the Miami the Circuit Court 11th Judicial Circuit for Miami-Dade County. Case number 2013-037522- CA Charlie Alpha -01. That's case number 2013-037522- CA-01.
No, you said circuit court. Was it like a federal district court, or was
Civil
it?
division. No, this is 11th Judicial Circuit in and for Miami-Dade County, Florida.
Okay, all right.
All right. So, I'm going to send you something, Ratty. I'm going to send Marie, I'm send it to you. You can just read out the amount of thing where the Prime Minister have up there. I'm going to just send it to you right now. Send it to you, Ratty, and
I suspect there's another case. I'm looking for the federal citation. Judge Bloom.
Oh, you know where to give them the case caption too, if you have it.
All right.
see me just send you it there.
Yeah, I see it.
All right. So when I go read out, let me see which one I'm gonna. Oh, the bottom one. We're not going to call out the bottom one. We're not call out the bottom name. Just say security reason. The name at the below there, so we're not call out the name. I read nothing about him below there, so yeah. But you see much thing him up there? Don't read out the bottom one. You see much thing him up there, Ratty? All right. I mean, I give you details and give you the era of the vehicle and everything, you know. Prime Minister, by the side of you, man. You know, so we have to update to, man. Yeah. So you see it now. Security details. 2017, a 7-seater BMW. One white and one brownish burgundy 2017 Land Cruiser Prado. One Mitsubishi Mark service vehicle that pilot him. 10 service motorcycle park under the garage and the compound. One 2020 RAV4 currently down. You know what's it down. You fix it yet? You see, all right. So you see where I'm going? So when I read out that part, we just tell him some of the things them where there. So security, security details. And you see where I'm going to be royal though.
Me see it, man.
Okay.
I know the funny thing about meat and sandwich on there, you know.
It's dangerous, man. I be a big rat and be a sitting and all kind of thing.
You see it, I read it.
Yeah, man.
Sandwich on there,
yeah, man. Have to be careful. So we know what am I going on with there, but you know, so we just keep some things that we don't read out some things. So, you know, yeah, so them know we move on. So, you know, them a move. And not just them alone. The government will live like a first world government in a third world country.
Yeah.
And if anything you try slash some things and save the country some money. Yeah? Yeah, work, you get job for just come talk. Bureaucrats do the work. I carry it out, you have some other people have to carry out something. As a minister, you just want to come talk, you know. Because we have permanent secretaries and we have people who work under them. So when you come talk for look good, you know, we have pay you much money every day. Drive your own vehicle. Drive your own vehicle. And we have to buy them and service them and everything, you know. And every
Hold
other
on there, man. Suppose you see the vehicle where the ambassador driving at DC. Suppose you see that the vehicle there. Suppose you see that the vehicle poor Jamaica taxpayers them a pay for.
no want a couple, you know, so more see it, man. I have to see it, you know.
It's a BMW, one of the luxury edition one them.
Yeah, there.
Late model.
Hmm?
The big one them, you know, the stretch one.
country. Yeah. It's not to do that, you know. You understand? Them thing hold on the country.
So you see, it's not that Jamaica doesn't have money to pay teachers and policemen properly, you know. It's just a misuse of money and corruption. That's the
Misuse of
problem.
money and fun.
You know what?
Taxing
What we
and
need
dollar
to,
bill.
what we want to find out is
Budget.
how many of them. I think how many of them. Or you remember the number? I think it was 25. I don't remember the exact number of them who traveled to Kigali for the conference where them did expect that the minister
For a win?
Kamina Johnson, you know, yeah.
That she would be successful.
And them spent. I think in all them spent like 45 million of the paper.
But,
you
yeah,
know,
but it's a joke because them carry all them own photographer, something, videographer, something. For what? Why?
yeah.
But
That's
was
why
she a successful minister in Jamaica? Was she
successful
successful
at
at her
all.
ministry?
No, she needs to take care of
Then
her
how would she
ministry.
be successful as a secretary general?
I know, but that you know. What you serve? 4 years?
Yeah, as Secretary General, you can
And you
serve up to
serve
2
4 years,
terms.
and then you do spend all these money and then come up with foolishness for just 4 years and then you just return back again.
No, she can stay up to 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
But what I want her for 8? If she can't manage what she
No,
manage.
but you're what? Them see me I tell you, them don't understand diplomacy and politics, you know, and international relations. Here's what them do know. This lady, Baroness Scotland from Dominica, right? She already have the job, you know. She do a 4-year period, right? And then there's an understanding between Commonwealth members that if you have the job already and you want to get a second term, everybody just say, yeah, consent. Then must say, fine, no problem. There's only one instance where somebody decides that no, they will challenge the incumbent and they lost, right? So generally, that's the way it works.
Yes.
CARICOM say, okay, we're going to support the lady. Then Jamaica, I guess, was part of that consensus, but within a month or two, them just say, boy, no, we have put up our own candidate. And then that caused a rift in CARICOM. So CARICOM, she realized, say, out of the 50, I think it's 15 nations at CARICOM, only 5 of them support her. I think it's 5. So she realized that she now get that 10 now budge. So what she do? She run go Africa, go try to get the African support. But we're the African, here what Barnes do with her. Here what Barnes do with her. Barnes said, listen, people, here's what I will do. Because Africa get the next, it rotates, you know. Africa get the next Secretary General seat in it. I go to Africa.
Yes.
Barnes said to them, say, here what? You see, instead of 4 years, when I go do, 2 years gone on a COVID where we couldn't do anything. So guess what? I only need an extension for 2 years.
Yes.
Africa and them sit down and say, well, wait a minute now. If we put Kamina Johnson Smith, the minister, in there, she can stay up to 8 years before we get our turn. But this woman I know Barnes said, give me 2 more years and then only get full the turn. That's an easy decision for them. Easy.
But you see,
some people never vote, you know. Some people never even bother vote. Some of the countries they never vote. Some of the countries them who say them are gonna vote for her, them never vote for her. And some of them not vote at all. Them just abstain.
But you know, say Ratty.
But,
You know, say,
what record was she running on as a leader, Ratty?
No, but
what them do? No, hear them do now. Hear them do. Them send her go like a conference here and big it up. And say, oh, she represented Jamaica at this conference and that conference, and she's eminently qualified and this and that and that. The woman not qualified for even hold a plate of food.
No. But, you know, but who did I push her at the Prime Minister from Britain?
Yes.
Boris Johnson. I did in there, right?
Because you know why?
Baroness.
Yes. Him and Baroness will get along.
So them now I look handout me call it. To Britain now who jump up. Them jump up and bring the chameleon. The chameleon.
Look,
Carlos,
there's some very dear friends of mine who know her very, very well. And them say she's qualified, she's this, she's that. I'm said that may very well be the case with Uno. But as far as I am looking at it, I'm looking at it from the outside. I don't see her as being qualified at all. Look at the way she run the ministry. You know, she run go take the Chinese building down there were full of all kind of things
That
down.
bug out,
down
man.
to
That's a
her.
bug. It's a bug
Right.
building. Me
Instead of
not
she
give
stay a
me
New
the going to
Kingston,
Ratty.
right? Hmm?
When we go to Jamaica, me and your herb and Maria.
I
We
told
not
her we are
going to
talking about it now.
We
Eh?
not going to hear it, you know.
We're not going to go have no
Me
meeting.
can't do
not
that.
going to hear it go talk. Me not no whisper. Me don't want no Chinese listen to me, man.
No, then look
But
what
that
she
was
do.
common sense. That was
No.
common sense. I mean,
Then
come
look
on.
what she do. Look what she do again. She established, them establish the global Jamaica Diaspora Council, them call it. And at the government control it, not the diaspora,
Yes.
Them appoint members, them have some elections. But I think most of the members is and the minister herself in 2020 or 2021 or whatever, she appointed a lot of the people, 3/4 of the people I think they're appointed. So what them do now? Them get for go at the cocktail parties, them get for rub shoulders with this and that one. We don't need for rub no shoulder with them. Because we rub shoulder with bigger people than them. We don't need for rub shoulder with them. We don't need for rub shoulder with them. All we need for say is
Brother.
people who live in a place like this place are behind me to get justice.
Exactly.
For them see equality. For them get proper housing, proper
Ah.
schooling, proper
Yes.
roads, water, electricity, jobs, quality of life,
Don't
proper
forget
policing, funding. Yeah.
Funding.
People who live in a place like this behind me, who know what they are fight for. Who know what they
Of
are fight
course.
for.
And,
So-
and remember that we them can't move, We
No.
solid as a rock.
And you see what happened is that them take them people for granted, because one of the things with them don't do.
Yes.
One of the things with them don't do, when them represent people from them communities, and them never ever take one of them and say, "Me I go groom you to become somebody
No.
in the community in a parliament, so that you can make other people, you can influence other people, so that they will aspire to be like you, so you can become the MP for your community
Them groom them kids.
and them friend, yes,
And them friend.
yes,
Exactly.
And because remember, them not
and them
interested
wife,
in them.
and them wife.
And them wife. Remember, this is the same prime minister where they want lock down the things them for 70 years.
Yes.
Me and you can't live 70 more years. Me know that time. Come on, man. 100 and enough that man. We not gonna there 70 years before a certain file can release. And you come with that foolishness. Why? Where you have a eye?
It benefits him, right? Wayne. It benefits him, to do that.
You know what with a gun into and then you can go look on it and say you see him in the dangerous, But you're gone already.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing about it.
Well, you see,
You think it easy?
when
Yeah, look here.
when she went to Africa,
What
she
about that?
visited 8
the
African
bone.
states.
You see this?
Yeah, the bone.
Oh, man,
That's
East, I'm gonna put with the compliments from your member of parliament.
Wait a second about the trip.
She went to Lesotho, Botswana, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, and Ghana.
And Ghana, right? Yeah. And when she go Ghana,
something. Them
and when she
corona
go-
something down there.
Well,
Which
no.
one of them place a corona?
no, well I know, Ghana, they make her honorary something for tourism. I say, where's Ed Bartlett? Where's Ed Bartlett? Ed Bartlett is Minister of Tourism. And then what she do? She take people from Europe for fly go Ghana and Nigeria for take her picture, even though she have access to JIS people and her own staff who can take her picture. And them can't lie, because guess what? The person who take her picture, undoubtedly the person is a good photographer, because guess what? Me have a picture where the youth take, where the brother take of my youth.
Mhm.
Me have a picture. Is a good photographer. But I don't say you spend taxpayers' money.
You say get a bag of money for do that.
And then guess what now? The Jamaican people, them spend for all of that trip here and all of the lavish this and that and that. And them not have no picture. And guess what? Me, who no pay a cent in a tax at Jamaica, me have picture. Me have our picture. What you take Africa? Me have them.
But Ratty, them turn around after she lose now for make she not look bad or feel bad. Oh, God never ready for her yet.
Hey, don't start me up with that, you know.
What kind of fool God who that bro devil never
I
talk?
can't
No,
blame
stop.
God for this.
God never
No,
ready for her.
that's exactly what she said.
Then
Daisy, that's exactly what she said. She said, I guess God wasn't ready for me to leave Jamaica. I mean, I said, well, on, did she ask God when she applied for this job? Said, God, me want this job. Where you think me should I do? And what did God say to her? What did God say to her? Did God say, go for it, and then him change his mind? Did him say, don't do it, and she disobey him? I never answer, and she say, you know, I'm not answering me, so me just go just do what I
So why
want.
God makes you spend the money, and then when she lose, God never ready for her yet. God does say, no, you lose the money, but that's
exactly. God that talk to her and said, don't go in there, you're going to lose.
God never ready for her.
No,
but you know something, this points to a bigger problem because she's a minister. She has minister. She's a minister. She has a portfolio.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Yeah, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and she's not performing in that ministry. How then would she perform as a Secretary General?
I don't know.
That makes no sense to me.
All right, let me get some instant now. We got to take a draft for the file, but let me get something now. When them have the pandemic breakout, as she leave, what people them in a China, you know. When the war go on in a just breakout the other day, you know, in a Europe, there, you know, with Russia and Ukraine. She leave the people them same way, you know. And when I think Malcolm, I say, I put her money there, so then you hear them jump up when people under pressure, people them a ball. I said, no, we don't know, we never hear them bomb a drop yet. But I think them here good it a fly. They never hear this. She leave the people then. You understand?
No, but that is the thing. I'm thinking that you have to dance here before you can dance abroad. She's not performing locally. She's not running a ministry in the way it should be run. And then they expect that she's going to become Secretary General of the Commonwealth. That kind of makes no sense to me.
You know what? But just so you know, she was determined to be, or not determined, she was adjudged to be the worst performing minister in the cabinet. And this came courtesy of the Observer.
Yes.
The worst performing minister.
I remember none of them not performing. My subsevers.
Right. And she's the worst performer.
She's the worst one.
That's all you need to know.
What I'm eating. Dr. Kabbalah, I kill him teeth now. Dr. Kabbalah, I can tie when they move, I can tie. But Dr. Kabbalah, you know, do good. And let me tell you, the next worst performer. None of perform, none at all. I make him go under the radar. Bug Life. Minister of Information. And the worst Minister of Information in the entire universe. That now have no sense.
Look.
It no make better. It mislead people till it look bad.
Look, as a Minister of Information, he should grant access.
Well, because him should get. Well, I mean, I know, Andrew, your Minister of Information and mislead you still, you know.
Him should grant access to people who want to talk to him about the government and government affairs, right? And routinely every week, me invite him to come on my program. Him used to talk to me, you know. And once the Kamina incident come up and me tell him, so me now back down. And then him stop. And him not have no more correspondence with me. But routinely.
That disrespect too.
But routinely, yeah. And remember now, you know, he's the Minister of Information, you know.
So you need to talk to the people then.
Routinely every week. Yeah, you know? Every week, almost every week, me invite him and say, Minister, I want you to come on the program. We can discuss this and this and that. And him no answer me. Him no answer me because him knows him can't, the little nonsense when him can't tell certain people and get away with it, you know. He cannot come around here and say them things there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, because
that is the problem. That's the issue. Yeah, that is it. They can just talk to regular people and they buy it and they say, oh yes, well done, thou good and faithful servant. But when they come to this forum now, it's a different ball game altogether. So they stay away, and nobody's asking to stay away. Come and face the music. If they're if they're really worth their salt and think about the country, they would come and talk. Come and talk. Defend your position.
They can't. Well, they should, but they won't, because what happens is that, you know, we specialize in asking the tough questions, you know. And when we ask two things, we don't ask questions where we don't know the answer to. Anytime we ask a question, we know the answer.
Exactly.
Right? And when we ask a question, we just not ask a question, forget the answer. We ask a question, forget the truth.
That is it.
Because we know the answer already.
And when them spin it, I worries, you know.
No, there's no spinning. They only spin. Any spinning they are going out, so them are spin out of control. There's no spinning are going around here. No spinning around here.
See, and you know something, and it would do well for them if they had the guts to come on and talk and put forward the government's position and defend it. You know what I'm saying? It would augurs well for them. But walking
here's
away
what,
and just going to safe spaces
You can't defend the
doesn't work.
truth, you know.
but here's what it's
If
hard
it
to
was
defend.
true,
It's hard to defend the indefensible, you know. It's
that
hard.
is it.
Yeah.
So if it's not
Yeah.
the truth,
Hard.
you have to defend it. But when I lie, him defend lie. Because they
Yeah.
want to convince people, yes or no, yes, man and woman, yes, so. You can't convince with crap. The same guy come and say, people have spread propaganda upon the government. Propaganda. I'm going to play around here at things where when the prime minister was in opposition, where we had the foot on the other, the socks on the other foot. And him, I say all these things we hold him to account. So if it go for the goose, it go for the gander. You are the prime minister, you say for hold the government accountable. We use for doing us, sir. But the amount of lies and them when up and down and tell a bag of things. Me see bug life I say Bustamante hospital. Who don't know all these kind of things that no says the soldier hospital.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him name on it and then boom bam and from 1964. And then I sang 7 up and down and do all kind of things. We can show them. I can show them. I think
Yes.
show them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See? And then when him go for mandate, like a mandate it's sick and then PJ finish the term. And then run for him one mandate at the same thing. Like how Bruce step down and Andrew say, okay, may I do it, but him get worked by Porsche at the same thing. Yeah? But them not get they're not Samsung ratings. Because them want to say
True that. True that. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, you see my Canada, you see him in the UK, you see my about that and songster. Because Buster did sick him.
And the thing is, you know, another one who they don't give any props to is Hugh Lawson Shearer.
Them not even him too. Well, him you see him now when the man there like 2 months, him get the man seat and boom bam and then man they come win. So and like them I come talk when I know this. We know this. So him now come and him and mislead people with him, you know, and then I talk about propaganda. Them I tell lie upon the prime minister. I go to Big Mama. Who cares to Big Mama? Remember we have our own thing now, so we don't business. We keep it. Big Mama never big back of coconut oil, so that good for food. When it dry, it's okay. Yeah, man. me not play now. Them know so me not play around here. You understand? Me keep it clean, man.
Wayne, my coconut oil I use for frying. Stop it.
No, man. Don't put them on coconut oil.
The rumors are not true then. No put
No.
oil here.
Yes, man. Don't put them on some oil, man. Cause Big Mama them
know?
lie to you know. And them are spin doctors. Yeah, man. But them think them we are gonna just sit down and make them just
No, but you see, the minute they start to take the minute Jamaican people start to hold them accountable, they will do different. You know, but they're so afraid of retaliation, that they just take it and hope that those of us who have the platform to speak up do so on their behalf. Because what is a guy going to do? You know, but if they have the ability to stand up to them, they would do so more often. But they're afraid of retaliation, and it is sad. It is sad that the government of the day think that no one has the right to speak out against them. Who died and made them God? You know.
So them compare things, them do a lot of things, and them feel so okay, we are win this so, and then you know poor people are hurt. I'm tell the people them say, see them look here. You see we here so, we not here we come and say this and that and this, you know, we want to see what we are fighting equal right and justice, you know. I don't believe in the part, you know. The part program where them have crap is a crap, you know, have a fridge there you get something $3,000 for 2 months. You tell me say $20, you have work for $20 for 2 months. You did that and I walk up and down for 2 months. Let me tell you this. That for sure is a poverty and knock you. More you graduate half a part. And a joke me I make. That means you stand up on your foot. Them want to put more people on part. That means them are trying to make the place more poverty and more. Hey, let me tell you, them wicked, you know. Them wicked. Because every time you say you want to add more people on part. Like the last time, the minister was here, Ratty and Herb, and Maria, the finance minister. Don't them want to get more people on part, right? On part. We don't want to get no more people.
Yeah, but you know something. If they bring back the industries, bring back industry,
That is it.
Then they won't have to put people on path on you know on
Partner do
social
nothing for
programs
nobody.
because
Them a
you'll be able
freestyle
to
it, them don't get
employ
nothing.
people have good jobs.
Yes.
So bring back industry so you can employ people. Bring back farming. I mean, Jamaica has sold out everything that they can find to sell. They have shut down every industry that they can find to shut down while the land is there vacant, looking at them. That can be utilized to benefit the people. Improve your exports, increase exports, reduce imports. And that will help to change the financial situation in Jamaica because then you won't have to buy the foreign exchange to facilitate the imports
Good.
of goods and certain goods into the country.
Good. Say that I would be stabilized, and when it's stabilized, it's better for you.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly. But if the imports is more than the exports, then there you have a problem.
Just keep
And
in
you're
mind that
importing things that you're supposed to be producing. Come on now.
well,
Yes,
and
sir.
you see what happened. Them allow them for bringing produce at a price that the local farmer can't compete with. You know, can't
No.
compete with the price. So
That's
it's like
the
you actually.
whole, that's the whole globalization bit.
But
Because
Jamaica don't have to do that.
globalization,
We have water, we have sun.
yeah, they
And you know, we
study.
can make our own little things them. You know what them do? Them go buy filth from America. I sell for look how much filth that Jamaica then. You go buy filth from America.
Or China.
Say a fertilizer. Filth.
Okay.
Dry filth. In a bag and carry it come. America want dump them thing, then them dump them thing when you carry it come and chew on people food.
Well, yeah, so that's why me ask question about the 2.6 million pound of fertilizer will come from Morocco and all. No, we can't get no
Sell
answer.
them and sell that, man.
Yeah, we can't get no answer. But we are gonna get answer, you know. We are gonna get answer. Mark my words. We'll get answer by the hook or the crook.
Well,
And
after,
whoever
Any
the
means
fertilizer
necessary.
there, any means necessary, we are gonna find it because me like a bloodhound, you know. Once my scent come on that trail, you know, me nah stop. Nah stop.
yeah, I get
No.
it. Man.
And all of the people who don't want to give me the information, who's supposed to give me the information under the law, who now look at $500,000 and believe me, let me tell you this. When things come up to bump, them will not support you know.
Them know that too.
They will not support it. Your superiors and them people won't support it. So you going to have to end up a pay the fine and you may have to end up go up jail. So when Rattigan asks for the information, just give it up freely. Minister of Agriculture, specifically, who me talk to 130 days, 30 days enough to respond, 130 days now, no response. It's okay.
You know, so that,
But you said that's Colonel Charles Jr. is the minister for that ministry.
Oh yeah.
Ratty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, so
He learns from the best. He learns from the best. The apple don't fall far from the tree.
Learn from the worst.
Yeah, him learn from the best, but him not learn everything.
The best of the worst.
There you go.
The best of the worst. Can we make them know, you know, when he hear the best, he might kill him teeth. The best of the worst. Okay.
He learned very well. Yes.
Let me tell you something. Him learn, you see what happens is that, right? Them learn all kinds of things. But you see, when them come around here, them realize that this is not fun and games. And the ones who come already can tell you the seat round here where them sit down in is very hot. Very hot. Yeah. Because we don't give them no respite. We don't give them no time for cool off from them land. I hit that. We start with the question because we do our homework. We do our homework, and like me say, we don't ask questions where we don't know the answers to. We don't ask questions where we know the answers.
But and you see, you know what I'm to Ratty, they come not realizing that they're coming to talk to people who know what they're talking about. They come with the assumption that they can ring around people the way they do when they're talking among themselves. But don't do it. Don't make that a kind of assumption and then end up embarrassed and say, "Oh, really?" And then attacks and say, "Oh, so you're coming at me?" No, nobody's coming at you. No,
we don't allow speeding around here. So they're not going to speed fast and say things. No.
Exactly.
Speeding around here.
Gotta slow it down.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good night, Carla. Good night, Carla.
Yeah, good night, sir, Will.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, maybe you play a clip with a politician woman in a green. Down in one island there.
Let's just say where I suffer you.
You, please.
All right.
Very
Okay. All right. We say we are gonna suffer you. We finish serve you. Make a, vote for me. Make a finish suffer you. I mean finish serve you. Like Anjo. I mean people. When Anjo beg say, no desert him, no abandon him. And the first, can you imagine the first ever hear that, a prime minister beg saying no abandon the party and all kind of foolishness. After so much
Because he knows he's not deserving. He's not deserving of the
then,
people's trust.
If Andrew can give a comprehensive explanation of where the money for his house and his lands came from, right? If he would put pen to paper or tell his accountant simply demonstrate on a spreadsheet where the initial monies came in, what was the source, and how the money was dispersed. How did the person that he ended up um, using him to purchase the property, how did that happen if the man was not an employee at ADMAT? The ADMAT only had registered was him and his two sons. At the time they were adolescents. So the bottom line is he needs to explain himself, and that way they can then approve his financial filing. But there's a lot of crosswinds with that financial filing because there's all kinds of money sourcing that's out there that talks about Mexico City, that talks about St. Lucia, that talks about Barbados, right? How did he manage to withdraw his money from SSL in October 2021? Was there a tip-off given to him from the Ministry of Finance that says things are going south, so get your money out? Or was it to reinvest into another scheme, right? He has not explained anything about his finances. And this is what people are concerned about, right? They have a law for ill-gotten gains or for some undue influence. So is that law going to work against him? Are they going to test it out on him? One of the things I believe, Wayne, is when it came down to Integrity Commission, the reason why they didn't go ahead with a trial for the last charge that they said he was guilty of, or alleged that he was more guilty in that instance, because he has to sit down and they're going to depose him and they're going to ask him questions about everything. Right? Can you imagine that? Having to answer questions under oath from experienced lawyers about all your financial affairs, right? Including Mexico City and St. Lucia and Barbados, right? Well, I'm going to tell what answers he's going to give. He don't answer no, so is he going to answer under oath?
So when you say Herb, him couldn't say Ratty, him couldn't say don't you trouble Zion again. If a man's under oath. You know what? It kind of puzzle me. If you see, the police was supposed to separate it from the government. But the Prime Minister flying, and when you look, it's Sir Googs go meet him with Dr. Crab. And I step out in a jacket and think, I think he might have him own, people them in bodyguard them and what have you. No, you don't expect to see Sir Googs out there, say, That for sure is a Jamaica go wrong. You're the commissioner, you're supposed to do your job. We're going out there so and with TV and things and go meet him. What the people them have to say. Me never see that in England and nowhere yet. Me never see that nowhere else, Only Jamaica. Only Jamaica.
Because the judiciary is supposed to be separate from the government. It's not supposed to be, in bed with the government. Because how else can they hold them accountable if everything is like that? They have to be an independent body that operates based on the rule of law, nothing else.
So don't care what the Prime Minister do now. Where I said the commissioner, if him not give the order, and the DPP, you can't touch him. And that you tell me. But that them a tell me. Me see a man open a restaurant in a New Kingston. Me see the one of them up there. But me look, me see the DPP up there. Instead of she go try get rid of Santa, she up there. Me see one bag of them up there with the man. So if the man do something wrong, so she not gonna charge him neither. Eh? I open an Italian restaurant and that make news. Instead of SSL staying at the news. Instead of the one them from Education Ministry, Cruel Greed, staying at the news. Instead of Patrick with the man that name staying at the news. Instead of the reverse. Beryllium reverse and the metaphors and the metaverse, a reverse. Them are staying at the news. Yeah? We're staying at the news. Some foolishness. And the news media Jamaica, them wrong, you know. Cause them the pressure not at all, you know. You know what them there, you know. You know what
Exactly.
them there. Yeah, man, it's
Because,
bad.
if they were doing what is being done right now and holding them accountable and putting pressure on them as a media that everybody watches and listens to, a lot of things would have been different in the government. But no, they're basically rubber stamping them too.
Of course.
They're giving them a pass.
Of course. It's bad.
It is sad when you don't have the media as the arbiter of truth. It is very sad, right? But I would encourage the two independent organizations, JAMP and NIA, to step up their game, to start filing various cases in court, to force, as Attorney Rattigan is about to do, is to force them to take action where they don't want to take any action. You know? And we still have the two initial people that they kicked to the curb because of corruption, which was Wheatley and Rural Reed, is unresolved. Right. So you can't have this thing going on for the entire how long they've been in there now?
7 years.
7 years.
7
And
years.
no one get charged, interdicted. No one get. They might get charged, but not run for them.
It's not going anywhere.
Sentenced and sent a prison or something.
And this is why they don't want to be a member as take the cases to CCJ, criminal cases. Because I don't believe the rest of the Caribbean, going to put up with this kind of shenanigans.
It's bad, man. It's bad. You just say lead some thing from the last week. We just talk already, man. I'm gonna repeat again. We said them are gonna argue that in a court. So we're gonna tell them to serve back the service commission and them are gonna back it in a court. That's why me I tell Ratty say the other day the Google Gaga come out and I say crime drop this and that. So when them are arguing in a court, I say, but this a work. Not working. So we are watching. This is coming like when go bury the gun them under the sun. When the opposition say no, him have to go leave, you know. So them are gonna argue that in a court. And me I gonna tell you the date very soon. Yeah? Them are gonna argue that in a court. God they say to reach now. In a court. So they might have them lawyer from the service the service commission.
Public Services Commission and the Police Service.
Yeah, them and who. So
Police Services Commission and the Public Service Commission.
The Police Service Commission, yes.
Yeah, two
so
of them.
them are go backle out that. So him want jump up and say I do something. Nah, do nothing. The worst favor, not a police. Straight Google, you're not a police, brother.
And I don't know why would I even allow it to go to this to get disgrace into the public forum.
Yeah,
because this is not only just local in Jamaica, this is international. Right?
Yes,
exactly.
That case have reverberation across the globe. Because when you have to go sit down and deal with imagine when my sit down and deal with like the Canadians, the Americans, the Germans, the Japanese, and them sit down across the table and them a look and say, you know, say, that guy, him have a 91% disapproval rating. I people him, and also some of people him a file for them fire him, and we for deal with him because them a say he might not be here next week. So why we even bother waste time and talk to
No,
them?
that's what I'm saying. I want to talk about this trap. I see me on come talk because they want to put down that and make sure on TV and things. So when they argue,
Well, and you know, so the man take a cue a page out of a book. I do all town hall meeting now.
listen that man. So
Yeah.
Never underestimate the platform.
yeah, man.
The
Listen
town
to
hall
that kind of things, man.
meeting.
And it not work, and then them still are.
Yes, you know, yes, because what's his name in us? Health Minister Tufton had a town hall down in Montego Bay about the Cornwall regional thing there, you know.
Yeah, man. It's not the town hall now, man.
Yeah, about it,
Yeah,
man.
he had a town hall about it.
Where
It's the police about it, man. So it's all good.
did Tufton admit that the extra 14 billion that they're gonna run up on Cornwall is really for the next election because the last one cost 14 billion. So the next election, if they can get that 14 billion in the bag, then
What I do? What I do for them?
you want to see the receipts. Well, when they may very well raise up
Them
to
are going to some
5,000
trap.
to 7,500.
No, them are going to some trap. Because me I tell you, say, the next election, me I have video, you know. Because we got set trap for them. Remember, say them can't me at the win, you know.
Yeah,
So
man.
you have some people now come give some money and them are question. I can't tell them from now.
No, hear what no, man. Hear what no. We have some.
on camera.
Hear what no.
Yeah,
But
man.
we have some electronic devices we can make video and
Of
have
course.
audio, some small little things. So we are going to plant them on them people and we get the video with them and give them people them money. You know, we are gonna get it. We are gonna get it. We
Yeah,
go and get it. And by the way, the tough talk about when did that talk about that in that talk about the money we spent. Oh, if you remember when him come on your program, him said the reason why there is so much overrun with Cornwall Regional is because he used local contractors who have a skill in putting up apartment buildings but not building hospitals. And him said reach out overseas and him get some people, including some Jamaicans from some overseas companies who come now and find out the problems. But when me look on that at the pictures, I say, I still local people, me see my still local
No,
contractors.
that, so me never ask him say building a hospital because a black and steel and a casting me use and them thing there. And if a man a build a hotel, anything can turn a hospital, people have feel hospital and them do operation in them. Me see China build a hospital must have around 10 days or less.
Yeah.
And it work.
But during the pandemic, Central
when
Park
you-
was turned into a makeshift
when you-
hospital too, Rattigan, remember?
You can't tell me about
Yeah,
the
that's true.
hospital. And most of the
Yeah.
hospital, the private hospital, them are some building and then you put the things them in them and you set up where you set up. So I don't know what happened to it.
But you remember that's what he said.
So no-
You remember that's what what him said on your program.
Yeah?
That's
yeah,
what he
him
said on your
say for you.
program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but me not follow what he must say because
Okay.
that no really we are build that. So what he must say no make no sense to me. Because if you analyze it and a bill, the hospital it builds stronger than the Bank of Jamaica, stronger than a hotel where I go up with too much black and what you think? At same steel and concrete and cast out, and what thing you can do, put in some pipe and put in it. A matter of fact, the hotel have the same thing. It have all elevator. It have everything in it same way. And the hotel room them nice. Same way. With bathroom and thing, if it have built it like that, it a better off. Then the hospital with them building in Jamaica are more like it's a Nazi camp, you know, with some little dirty curtain. No, and a joke. You don't have no room, you don't have no bathroom for yourself. And when the bathroom them broke out, they must say every morning him for go clean it and fix it himself. That him say. That him say. Eh? And a joke, that him say. No, that him say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying when you start challenging about leadership and say,
Yes.
we
Yes.
blame everybody, but him never take no blame at all. Feed. And the prime minister blame him and him sit up on the stage and him not here what the black prime minister say. They get complaints about the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the whole of the complaints them when we get them justified. And him sit down there and say, he might pretend like him not hear what the prime minister say.
Yeah. See
Yeah.
no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
We bring him back, man. Bring him back, come back on the program. Man.
You might watch you, man. You might watch you now. Dr. Tufton, come cross, man. We're welcome, because tomorrow and next
Look,
week. Next week,
look, Wayne,
Sunday.
I,
All right.
what
We
is
need your class here,
amazing,
yeah? Yeah, man. We want a question about the 14 million, 14 billion, the 14.1
14
billion.
billion. The
No, man, the
original
finance minister would like to come back. Dr. Clark.
You
That's
know,
the
so
one I'd
all
love
him
to come
going
back
on. He might
to
trim the
break
like
down his budget.
Eh? You want to
Dr.
break it
Clark
down?
would like to come back to break down his budget.
All right, so we're gonna call him back, you know. We're gonna call him
Call
back.
him back, cause me have some questions. I want to ask him about the budget. You know, when him say no civil servants will not be. Hold on, see it right, sir. Him says civil servants will him say where's it? No employee would be worse off, meaning that no employee's take-home pay would be less than what it was prior to the new system. And now we have people with the 15% raise or the 20% raise actually taking home less money than under the old system because they have to pay for the upkeep. The taxes gone up on the upkeep. There was a section called the upkeep.
Yeah.
And them actually take home less money. And them things they want to talk to people. That's why we say we have to tune into them program, you know, because you see, we broke it down. You know, him come out and say no civil servant gonna be worse off than before. And yet still we can show us the civil servants worse off, some of them worse off than before. Because even
no new taxes.
They might get double whammy, you know. They might get double whammy. Look now. You know, as a nurse, and you have your young baby at your house, or you know, a police or something, and then you have helper at your home, because you have kids at your home to go look about and you know, living helper, but you have to pay 9,000 per week. Now them put on 4,000 per that, 13,000 per week. But you are paying them draw the money out of this, so you get less. Plus,
you get less,
4,000 more pan the 9, you know. So you not tell me say double whammy that you get.
Yeah, because you get less money and you have to pay more money.
More money per all right, you have to pay 4 more grand per that. So I don't know who I talk to, because I double whammy that I mash you up. Eh?
Well,
and then the food and everything gone up. It rise daily. Eh? It mash you up in our move.
We used to call that voodoo economics back in the days of President Reagan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Because, look, maybe he should explain very adequately the 14.1 billion overrun that's projected for Cornwall Regional, right? Talk about the vendors and the various contractors that they're using and why the supplies is costing so much from their suppliers, right? Because that, you know, if you name the suppliers and you name what the item is, unless you're buying the CAT scan machines and all these other machines in great numbers, that's the only way I can see this thing getting up that high. But then they've been projected from the initial costing. With the initial costing was 2 billion. They go to 3.5 billion. Right?
It's going to be 5.
Yeah.
5, right, Ratty? 5.
Yeah.
And then Doctor, the opposition spokesperson came on and
Dr. Maurice Guy.
Yeah, it's going to be 10. And we are saying, what about that 5 and 5 and 10, that double? 100% so one. And then we see in the paper that say 14.1, and it might have got more than that. Because where the Prime Minister explained, I say, some people do some kick off for this. And Jamaica not uproar, not get up about this. I bet they lick on the place, you build a fresh hospital from 2016. It had done by this long time. Just get rid of the one and build a fresh one. Better than this, with more toilet facilities, a room and with the toilet and everything. Because I know Jamaica have a proper hospital, you know. You know, like when you have hospital, Ratty, when the people them have them room and them have them bathroom inside there and everything, and then you can go over, you know. You understand? No. Them not have that. I know them not have a proper, them not have the proper hospital.
I don't understand. What I don't understand is this, right? We meaning Jamaicans, because you have Jamaicans in the diaspora who actually go home and vote. But we elect these people to represent us. And we don't demand that them come before us and answer the tough questions. We don't do that.
Mm.
We just sit back and just kind of like just accept whatever them give way and just say, okay, that's life. And now we have the power. We put them there, and that's why programs like this program here, we are demanding them for come. Now them don't want to come. But what means that people in Jamaica are supposed to start do likewise where we are don't start put some fire on it them and say, no, we don't need to answer them questions now. We don't need to make yourself available.
Yes.
Or you can have a minister of information who's supposed to represent the government to the media and to the public. And him just don't want to come on the program, come talk.
Because they might come with misinformation, and then when man like me and you and Herb and then sister like Maria talk, say, it a mash up him head. So him know say I better as a bug life, I better just go and live a bug life. Because I be lies and half truth come out of him mouth.
No, because
Find a
and
radio
look,
station we can accommodate him with the lies and the propaganda with them spread. And then them them spin it.
But and here's the thing.
Spread propaganda. We shot him himself as spread the propaganda.
But here's the thing.
And
We
false news.
have 7 years of material.
Mhm.
We address them with.
Of course.
And in some instances, we have more than 7
More.
years because there's a certain minister who get involved in the 2010 WikiLeaks cable thing.
Yes.
We have them cables there too. So him not coming nowhere near us because we're going to ask him about this. We're going to ask him about them things, yeah. And ask him
Yes.
why never protest, why never have them change it, and so them now come. So that are the thing. We don't demand them for come. We don't ask, you demand them to come and say, no, you don't need for come. But we need for you. But I tell you, this fund that we are put together,
Yes.
this is a game changer. This is a game changer. Because when them realize the money now are going to spend for PR purposes and legal purposes, so they won't get tied up in a court and they won't get egg on them face as far as donor agencies and donor countries, donor corporations, all them involved in that. They're going to realize there's a different day. Because we not fight for them, we are fight for poor people, we are fight for. And the majority of Jamaica, the majority of the Jamaican people poor. The majority of the Jamaican people poor.
True.
So
true.
Remember them saying 2 million. What? They because say we have 3
2
million.
million hungry. Them can't
2
find
million hungry.
2 million hungry. It said in the world thing them
2
say
million of them say now get proper nutritional meals. 2 million.
Nothing. Them not even belly full them I get. People are buy a squeeze of toothpaste. The Prime Minister, when the sack step on the other foot, he must show you the basket even in 2015. No, you can't get a basket with that. None at all. And if you come back with the same basket, come show it now.
Yeah, them show you advertisement on CNN and all of them stations about Jamaica. Jamaica nice and this and that and that. Nice for who?
The all-inclusive.
Nice for who?
Yeah. When last them road behind you fix on my road, I said, "Go back a stone here."
Hey,
when last
hold on
the
there.
city fix,
You remember me tell you
I want to
something?
hear from them. Them
When
can't
we-
trick me.
That barrel, I know. It never
Yes.
did it. But when we left, this, it did it. And see, it's still there. It's still there.
All right.
This is our sidewalk, brother. This is our
Please,
sidewalk.
that's
We are
smart.
looking
Yeah.
right.
You see a sidewalk at the door. Yeah. So somebody send me a next picture where them ask Andrea.
Oh, need transparency, your taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, man.
You get wise up, man.
Him have sleepless nights, The man, the whole of them have sleepless nights, as a result of what going around here, One of them have sleepless nights. And by the way, we not touch all of them yet now because there's one that I do some background on her, Minister Favorable Williams,
Right.
Education Minister.
The one who are told to pick them in a dunce. That one there.
So
That's
them in a
the one.
zombie.
That same
That she
one.
move like a zombie still, She right, favor like you have a sister still, you move like a zombie. That's why she move on time. Come on now. You serious?
Again, another square peg in a round hole.
Yeah. No man.
And you know what happened? You know what happened? People in our ministry and even JLP supporters tell me, say, she has no business being in that ministry. No, them tell me, our own alleged supporters tell me, say, the woman there is a disgrace to the Jamaican educational system. Because the people them where come out dance, them say she is a direct reason direct causation of the poor education system in Jamaica.
Nah, me see it. But we reach a 3, we reach a 3 hours, but we're going over around 13 minutes. We just a bus
I
it.
want we are warm up, you know. I want we are warm up.
Warm up. We bust it 3
We
hours.
are warm
You
up.
you're hitting on all your favorite topics.
Oh man, I tell you, we have some. We not talk about the Minister of National Security yet, you know. We not talk about him yet, you know.
No, we have to hold him
No,
there,
he
man.
needs a special show. He needs a special show, Ratty.
You need a, actually, no,
Jesus, they need a special show.
That's true, shut up, man.
Yeah, we need a show just for him alone.
Yeah,
and then,
bro,
and then we're
I'm
gonna start with
telling
the,
you.
they will start with the cable. Let's start with the 2010 cable them. We'll start
Yeah,
with
so
that.
I could give him show, you know. No, we have to drop him show.
Herb of him file, you know. Herb of him file.
Listen,
Herb of him
No,
file.
no. Listen, now, that night we can't bring Herb in there because it's a Herb alone we take him in there. So we have to keep Herb on the rocks.
Yeah, man, no, man, we have to give him a special show. We have to give him a couple show.
But
Oh
seriously,
my
Herb
God.
has so much information upon that man, it's not funny.
Yeah,
Yes.
Herb has
It's
so
a
much
shameful.
information upon him.
it's
That man
shameful.
should
But
have
he's
been
not
on
going to
national
come.
security minister. That man can't travel. That man, people.
Him go on, away Antigua, him go the other day.
In travel to
St.
Washington.
Lucia. St. Lucia, him go the
No,
other
man,
day.
to Washington.
Oh, no, me talk about the Minister of National Security.
Yeah, him in travel to Washington the other day by a Zoom.
Oh. Hey, him
He was
afraid for
there.
going up because him
By a
no know
Zoom.
him the cable them, you know. Him no want go because I'm afraid of the cable them, you know. And I tell you what
Him
happened, you
not-
know.
him not have nothing
Yeah.
to go.
No, but I tell you what, you know, he might go and them not arrest him right now, you know. He might go and them not
What?
arrest him right
No,
now.
because he's a minister. Yeah,
They
yeah.
might just wait. Them
Them
arrest
not-
Minister, man. Just what happened to the one from our British Virgin Island. Them will arrest him, man.
Them
But what
arrest
them
him,
do?
man. But yeah, this
What
one
them
me
do?
I
Them will
say
make
to
him.
him,
What them
Oh,
do now?
yes,
They
yes,
make
I
him
remember
come.
that story now. Yes, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
one.
but what them will do, you know, Herb can't talk about this. What them will do, you know, them will make him come and then them pay him a visit and say, listen, we have some favors we want you to do, you know, and we need you to do them like immediately. Otherwise, you know, you have some serious thing you have to face. And then them have to just play. Have to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's not
When
going to take
can
any
we chill?
chance.
If you want to go there, when we go through the border.
What bother?
Crab can't creep through the border, man. Him can't go a crab, you know. He not go and messy come and creep through the border and try to creep out back, man. Crab boy not try to creep through the border, man. Can't go, you know. But him can't creep through the border, man. Not invite him for a creep through the border, messy come on.
No, man.
They
All
might
right,
hold
all
on
right,
on one of his claws.
all right. All right. Listen, some
They
people
might
might
hold
say,
on
well,
on one of his
in
claws.
claw. Yeah, they might broke off in claw.
Yeah, man.
Well, listen. Look, I'm not an agronomist. I'm not an economist. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a whole heap of things. But the one thing me know me have some competency in is law enforcement. And me would like to sit down with the police commissioner one-on-one and just ask him questions.
Oh,
And
God,
then
that's
people
mad.
are going to understand. Them are going to understand who them have sit down in that seat there. Then them really are going to understand. Make somebody who no work for him and some reporter him can just cut off because them don't know the right questions to ask. Make him come sit down in front of me. Just make him sit down in front of me. And me guarantee you say when the interview they done, when I interview them, he might go resign. He might go resign. Because him himself I gonna know say, you know
Fear
what?
shame.
Yeah, he must say, but he must say, well, the man, but you know what me I gonna do? If that happen, me I gonna tell the man they will do the poll. Anderson his name,
Yeah.
Anderson Poll. Me I gonna tell him say,
That is
listen.
support, yeah.
Yeah, me I tell
Don
him say,
Anderson.
after me interview him, if me interview him on a Sunday night, we want you do a poll like about Tuesday, but on him.
Yeah.
And then we go upon this one, and it won't be 91. It won't be 91, and it's not
It's
going
full
to
on
be less
good.
than 91.
But if interview like this try, look, this are the great. Remember them man when the man answer, where them answer sharp. And listen this, Ratty. You just start about him. Watch this. See if him a come up.
About the Jamaica you want to see, and how can each citizen, how can each Jamaican, whether yard or abroad, contribute to the security of Jamaica?
So, I go through life being grateful and blessed.
Yes.
And I come at everything from that direction. grateful and blessed, and I'm grateful and blessed to be a part of this, of Star Program. And beyond that, although I didn't come here, as you say, with the commissioner hat, but I feel grateful and blessed to be leading the JCF at this time. It's a tough time for us,
Yes. Yes.
but I'm grateful and blessed to be doing it. You know why? Because somebody has to be the rock for those police officers out there who every day are in the community, engaging the community in a way that caused and attracted the attention of the private sector
Yes.
to join with us, to continue and build on that relationship we have with the community. The truth of the matter is, when the cameras are gone, when there are no interviews, when the schools are shut for the night, we are there and the people are there.
Man, come on, man. We can't.
Hold on. Let me make a couple comments there.
It messed me up.
You notice, him say grateful and blessed. He never say experience, and dedicated.
Yeah.
Never
No.
talk about that,
No.
Experience and dedicated. That is what you need out of
Man,
public
ask him not
servant.
like that, though.
You need a public
But
servant.
but his grateful and blessed answer has nothing to do with the question he was asked.
No. And then you hear the girl ask him. The girl ask him.
him, grateful and blessed. And that's a Jamaican man
Well,
to be grateful and blessed.
Couple things. One is she asked him about Jamaicans in Jamaica and abroad. Him don't mention nothing about the people abroad. We don't count. We don't count, right? Then him talk about again. Him talk about grateful and blessed. Him talk about experience and dedicated. And that's way in a law enforcement officer. That is what you want. You don't want somebody to say, I feel grateful and blessed. You want somebody who will say, I'm going to use my experience and deal
based
with
on
problems.
experience. Exactly.
Then I think him talk about rock for police officer. You talk about rock for the public. You him talk about rock for the public. Rock
But
for the police
also,
officer.
he's collaborating with the PSOJ, working with the PSOJ, but not with the people.
And then one last point upon him. Him say, I didn't come here wearing my commissioner hat. You are commissioner every day, 24 hours. I mean, you don't come here wear commissioner hat. That's what I'm telling you. Say, you say if you ask him, Mr. Commissioner, what keeps you up at night? Him said, no, man, me sleep at night time, man. Everything good with me. If you ask him, that's the answer him liable for give. If you say, what keeps you up at night? You must say, no, man, not keep you up at night time. I sleep good, man. How are you talking about?
Because he's grateful and blessed.
Grateful and blessed.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah, grateful and blessed and him sleep well.
When you ask him something and answer you none at all, him hear something else. Anything come off him out, him talk, Tell the prophet you have to give him all the time.
Ratty, I would expect him to say, when you ask, what keeps him up at night? Him say, man in the wilderness and Rattigan.
That's a very good one.
I tell you, when you ask him that question, I fully expect him to say, if you ask him, is a question where I'm not really expecting, you catch him off guard. I must say, no, I sleep well at night, man. I'm grateful and blessed. I sleep well at night.
Grateful and blessed.
Yeah. Me don't want to hear that grateful and blessed. Me want to hear experience and dedicated. That's what me want to hear what a law enforcement officer. That's what me want to hear.
Ask him,
experience, dedicated, and passionate. Them are the things me want to hear out of my law enforcement officer. No, and then they're skinning teeth and I talk about. I'm not here wearing my commissioner's hat. Your commissioner police 24 hours a day.
When the light
he did not look the part.
We and the people
he did not look the part.
We and the people here. And at that, what kind of Jamaica you deal with the crime and what? I'm grateful and blessed.
You see, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. This man has no law enforcement experience. This man is a military man because in a Jamaica, guess what? No, Jamaica now fight no war, So him can't take him weekends off. And he might think like a military man in Jamaica. Him can't take him weekends off for him for jollification and everything like that. But police commissioner in Jamaica, you don't have no period for jollification. It's work. Because you have to keep get the crime rate down. This man are not ready for prime time. Him not ready for prime time.
Him not ready for no time.
For all time. Him not ready for no time at all time.
No time. Not prime time. Him not ready for no time.
We said him may be ready for hard time.
Yeah, he might be for hard time.
But him have a soft time. Him get some
big salary.
Man.
Whenever you hear this, your salary will go up with crime.
You can,
Yes.
a new tune at the we just write a new tune. All time, if I dedicate for no time, whenever you hear this, him suddenly we can up with crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead. But you mean,
Yeah.
voice
Hey,
now.
Wayne, you have a voice, Ratino, you know.
What? And then you can start better now.
The only way advice me, you have to be my backup, or Herb have to be my backup.
Of
Every
course.
time, man. What you talking about? Big time.
And the advice them, man. Googs, it's the next new song this year. Watch it. Boy,
Yeah.
grateful and blessed. Talk to you, what kind of Jamaica you want to see.
Yes.
And this, and out of that, I'm blessed, and out of that.
And I'm not wearing my commissioner's hat tonight. I'm not.
And he doesn't sound like a commissioner. He sounds so dibby and ordinary. He doesn't sound the part.
Him do have the presence. Look, one of the things I learned in the FBI that as a leader you must have presence.
Presence,
You must have
yeah.
presence. When
He
you
doesn't
stand
have
up,
it at
people must
all.
say, yeah. When you stand up, people know they're not. No doubt when you stand up, say, see the leader, yeah. See the leader, yeah. When you
Yes,
stand up.
yes. You
Right?
must.
But
It
you
doesn't
sit
look
down
the
there and
part
say,
at all.
yeah, I'm not wearing my commissioner's hat tonight, but I'm grateful and blessed, and I'm here
Yeah.
standing up for the people, for the policemen, because I'm the
When you
rock.
sing like
Rockawa.
Yeah.
and when you sing
Rock.
like when and we are here and the people are here and we with them and you have it. It's not about the police. It's not about none with us.
He sounds like he's in the backyard drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Man, the beer drop out of him mouth. Man want soda, wet up himself.
I mean, we are making fun of him and things like that, but he deserves to be mocked because he's had that job now for years.
He put himself out there for it.
He's had this job now for years, and he was trained for this job, and he's had it for years. And this is the best thing can say, that I'm grateful and blessed.
Yeah. Grateful and blessed. Yes, that makes no sense. Makes
When
for
the
the top law enforcement officer, nah, that makes no sense.
But it must be up. We'll do 5 more minutes, because I give them 10.5 hours,
I tell you, the time fly because it's like,
it does.
Win.
Yeah. 10.5 hours. You can't believe that. That's a.
Hey, you see, because of you, Look what you make happen over here. Watch out.
What's the fire now, people? Hey, Google, hey. Google at you, hey, Ratty. Don't them fire, Ratty.
And me have another one upstairs, all because of you.
Ratty, you can't live up them fire, the whole place mash up, you know.
Right, you see
mash
there?
up.
See there?
Yeah.
See there? And they must know, they have phrase, like when when you go after somebody in South Africa, the man used to say, they must know we're coming after them. And I tell you, with them lawsuit, the one that me have filed, next week and week after, it will cause problems for her. It will cause some serious problems. It will cause tax problems. It will cause integrity investigations. It will cause finance, all the finance. Look on this now. The finance people, them are the one who have the regulation which you're supposed to file with, and them know such enough file because guess what? The Secretary General position in the news media for months, and them know such enough file, and them know such she get the $99,000. Them spend it on her behalf. And them don't tell her for file. Them don't tell her for file.
You know that's a big man.
But I tell you what, I do have a PR file ticking out. We have 2 ones to bring up PR file outside there. PR file, the Ministry of Finance, there's an act, there's a law that says that, and in the preface of the thing, them say that every public official is held responsible for knowing everything inside of this thing, knowing everything we're inside there, including gifts. Including gifts. So, why, brother, hear me now. Right now, me passionate about this, I'm dedicated. And I'm where next one go, I'm blessed. What you say?
Out of that.
Grateful and blessed.
Out of that.
I'm grateful and blessed too.
Yeah,
I'm grateful and blessed.
Yeah.
I'm grateful and blessed. I'm grateful and blessed that you know what? Coming from a place like this, which part about 8 out of 10 of my friends when me grew up with dead or in a prison and by the grace of
Yeah.
God, that same
Yeah,
community,
you
some
made it
great
through.
teachers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people, why me there so.
Same like
And
myself,
so,
yeah.
exactly.
I'm sure
And
them.
so,
Same like
Yeah.
myself.
me consider,
We all can point to that.
and,
Yes. Yeah, that
and
is
so me
true.
consider myself grateful and blessed, but me not stop this so. Me not stop this up. Me going to take it to the next level now. Me going to say, no, me dedicated, me passionate about the things that me do. And what we need to do is we need to make the people them do better or step aside. First thing, make them try and
That's
do
what it
better.
is.
First
You
thing, do
shave
better.
apart the pounds. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So when we say talk to us, please, whether you're out and abroad, what kind of Jamaica you would like to see, and something about kind. You couldn't say me grateful them. But that's not Jamaica one more want to see. Me grateful and blessed. That's not an answer. That could be an answer.
Yeah.
That a crap. For a commissioner. And our police say that clap and people are clapping when they chat foolishness. Immediately I say, but you're not answer it on a side.
Yeah, you not answer the question.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Tell him.
The first thing we have said to him, say, sir, as a leader, you're supposed to have presence. And the idea that you're going to sit here and say that you're not wearing the police commissioner's hat, that tells me that what you're saying is that I'm not a leader right now. And Jamaica needs a leader 24/7 in that police position.
In that role.
We need somebody 24/7. And you are doing part-time. And it cannot work part-time. I mean, you're going to style him. Don't style him.
We have to. So me that tell myself close off this with the anthem, and I have to go look for the anthem fast. Let me say I can find it, yeah. Because them want me close off this with the anthem, you know. Hear the anthem, yeah. Remember
that lady that will ask you the lady will ask you, you know. The lady will like me as chairman. The lady will ask you, I get a holy call, you know. Somebody say me they on fire. But they on fire because of this. They try to stop the place behind me from go on fire. So me have to burn some fire so that this place will not catch a fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What else? Police. Hey, by the way, we have to do a big shout out for Ron James, you know. The man they fight for the police, them like it a go to style at great personal risk. Yeah, him never have to do it, you know. The man they could have step aside and him alright, but him the other him a fight because him see the injustice we are going to the policemen and women. And him a fight for them to get better pay, better resources, or more resources. Them just start get a little bit of resources now, even though the minister say must spend the money from 1.2 billion US dollars are spent from 2016 till now, and the resources can't reach them. Them get some substandard bulletproof vest. By the way, blood upon them hands, you know, because a policeman get shot last year, and him never have a vest assigned to him. And if them shot him in his chest, and if he have a best chances, I would have lived.
That a Mullins.
Yeah.
Mullins, the one who get the 39, one who get no gun salute.
Gun salute,
First him get zero.
21 plus $18 million pay. So one, we got 18 and 21 and 39, you know.
Yeah, Officer Mullins, no. But to be honest, Officer Mullins got zero gun salute first. You remember?
Yes.
Zero again.
And then Sir Gooks come out and say him forget 21. And then go up there and shoot up the man funeral. Shoot up the man funeral.
Ron, big up yourself, my brother. With them behind you 100%. You and the hardworking, dedicated policemen and women. Continue to fight for them rights. Continue to fight for them for decent wages.
How you mean? Stand up for the rights, man. Yeah, man. See the anthem, Ratty. Watch the anthem, yeah. Watch the anthem.
This is our new Hanjo anthem, and it go like this. Eternal Father, we need you now. We're tired of Hanjo and his criminals. They all planned up and thief you send money, but let them bring back some if them not done it. Red high envy, bad mind people, Jamaica tired of you. You want cockpit country, Bob Marley Beach, you're crazy, you're tearing down people's house too. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica tired of you. And your wholeness is a grung Satan. Because of money, him sell out everyone. Poor people have it hard, them a struggle. Him send Babylon to make them problem double. Them mash up hand cat, kick down table. They take away the people, them goods. And you are no leader, he's a disaster. Jamaica, it no look good. Jamaica, 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 tired of you.
All right, I hate that, you know. I hate that.
Yeah, big up for yourself.
Big up.
Yes, man. Have a good week. Blessings, everyone. Blessings, everyone.
Everybody,
Cool.
good night.
Yeah, man. Next week, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.